1% of 1%. And eventually you'd go, okay, yeah, I feel 1% better. And just saying I felt better makes you feel better, right? You're making progress, one step in the right direction. That's what I'm trying to do right now for the Panthers. The Panthers on Sunday, they were sick. That was every symptom you could possibly have for the flu, right? Offense, bad. Defense, bad. Special teams, not great. Quarterback didn't live up to expectations. Coach didn't live up to expectations. You're sick. Nothing's going right. Is there 1% you can look at and find that it's better? Because I think that would make you feel a lot better. I've got some silver linings. You may not believe they were there, and I'm not saying we didn't have to look pretty hard, but we found some silver linings.
Turned over every single rock.
Ekuliota is officially an NFL edge rusher.
Let's go.
There was a big breakout during one of the preseason games where you noticed him, and you're going, Ekuliota. What is an Ekuliota? Who is an Ekuliota? Ekuliota. See, I'm still getting used to it. 4 tackles, 3 tackles for a loss, and a sack in the opening game for a team that had a grand total of 1 sack on a quarterback who is not especially mobile. Like if you're beating your offensive lineman and you're getting back there and it's Anthony Richardson, all right, fine. You know what?
It's a little different.
It's Derek Carr back there. You got him on the ground 1 time, and it was Ekuliota. 3 tackles for a loss. Those are things you can build off of. Now, the irony of it all is we were freaking out, and I continue to freak out, over who's going to be the edge rusher opposite of Jadeveon Clowney. Jadeveon Clowney didn't necessarily show up in a way you want, but Leota did. If I am the Carolina Panthers, I'm starting Leota next week. and I'm sending that as a message. I'm sending that as hey, Dan Morgan asked for dogs. If you are going to be a dog out there on Sunday, then we are going to reward that. You are going to get the opportunities moving forward. You know, there's a saying about bad teams, which is nobody's jobs are written in stone. Mm-hmm. Whoever has make it fluid. Make everybody know if you don't play well, your job is in jeopardy. Aside from Bryce, and that's a whole other conversation. We might have to have it later in the week. He needs to play. But if there's an edge rusher, boom, you play well, you start. Ekuliota is one of the bright spots. Xavier Legette is a bright spot. Now, I'm not saying he was awesome. I'm not saying he did everything right. 4 catches on 7 targets for 35 yards. Sounds like an underwhelming day for a first-round rookie. But dare I say Marvin Harrison Jr. had 1 catch for 4 yards.
Take that.
It could be worse. So, I mean, as of right now, Xavier Legette is, however many times better than Marvin Harrison Jr., who played more snaps and ran more routes and all of those. But what I liked about Xavier Legette, and the reason why I'm saying it's a silver lining, is it's the most I've seen from Xavier Legette since he got to Charlotte. It's the most I've seen. Consider me one of the people that's kind of tired of everyone acting surprised every time he does an interview and has a Southern accent. But as far as on the field stuff, I want that to overshadow everything. And we've really had to get by when discussing Xavier Legette with talking about what he was like at South Carolina in college, what he was like as far as the pre-draft process, and then a random one-on-one clip we'd get every once in a while on the off practice that he was healthy and not in a non-contact jersey. We saw him catch passes. We saw him catch passes, and we saw him run routes, and we saw him have an opportunity to make spectacular plays and maybe not come up with it, and have an opportunity to make plays and maybe Bryce missed them, but it's football, and he was out there. And again, shake up the depth chart. Put him out there more. Put the guys with the ceiling out there. See if he thrives. If anything was obvious about week 1, it's the Panthers have nothing to protect. Right? You play your veterans a ton when you're like, hey, we're still going for the playoffs, and this guy makes our team better now. If there's anything obvious after week 1, there's no contendership that you need to covet and protect and put in bubble wrap. Xavier Legette, get him out there. He might be a dynamic playmaker. I'm fairly confident the vets on the team are what they are. Adam Thielen is what Adam Thielen is, and I love Adam Thielen. Matter of fact, let's make Adam Thielen another bright spot just for doing exactly what he is going to do. The only certifiably consistent and stable member of the team, especially now that Derek Brown might be out for the foreseeable future. Play the wide receivers that are making plays. If guys are dropping passes, if guys are fumbling, sorry, Jonathan Mingo, you go to the back of the line. You might shuffle back up. You might get another opportunity, but these other guys didn't do that, so they're going to get the chance first.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of people that were like, wait, we cut Terrace Marshall to keep Jonathan Mingo? And that's what he put out there on the field?
The fumble is tough, and
he fumbled twice.
I mean, there's really no defense. You go to the back of the line.
Yeah.
The starting 3 wide receivers for me starting next week are Deontay Johnson, Adam Thielen, and Xavier Legette, and I am less inclined to just put Deontay Johnson as the number 1 read every time because he wasn't getting open. Make it egalitarian. Make it a true what have you done for me lately on the Panthers, and there were certain players, not a bunch, few and far between, that did enough to earn a bigger slice of the pie next week. Now, the pie may taste terrible because week 1 was a horrendous pie, but they've earned a bigger slice. And then, I don't know if, again, we were stretching for silver linings here. I don't know if this is a silver lining, but there's nowhere to go but up. Is that a silver lining?
Oh, you think it? Yeah, you think it can't get worse?
I mean, I've seen all the power rankings that have come out after week 1. You can't go lower than 32.
No, you can't.
It can stay the same, but you can't go lower than 32.
It can get uglier.
It can.
No.
It was pretty ugly.
Yeah, it was.
First pass interception, first drive touchdown,
and
then that was one of the highlights, I guess. And it didn't get much better from that point forward.
No.
It can get. I guess you're right. It can get uglier. You can't get worse than 32 out of 32. You're in the dungeon. The only way out of the dungeon is the stairs. So maybe the optimism is that really ripped the Band-Aid off aggressively in week 1. All of the imaginations that have run wild during the preseason of maybe the reason he's not playing him in the preseason is because he knows they're awesome and he knows something we don't and he's hiding it. That Band-Aid was ripped off very quickly, very aggressively, and we can get back to having honest conversations about this team. I struggled to find silver linings. I came up with 3. I had 2.5. I'm not sure. Adam Thielen having a halfway decent day. Not sure if that is going to be a full. So we'll go 2.5 silver linings. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Whether you call it a TD, a tutty, taking it to the house, pay dirt, whatever you call a touchdown, they matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. If you're ready to place your first NFL bet, try betting on something simple. Something as simple as betting on a player to score a touchdown. If you're looking at the game coming up on Thursday between Miami and Buffalo, there's a whole bunch of stars, right? Tyreek, -130 to score a touchdown. Josh Allen, -115. If you want to go a little bit deeper, Keon Coleman, the rookie, +230 to score a touchdown. Or even further down, maybe you think Tua throws a pick and it gets returned. Buffalo Bills defense, +425 to score a touchdown. I should mention during these little highlights here, where I talk to you about these odds every day. I did give you Alan Lazard yesterday. I did give you A.J. Brown going into last week. I did give you that. What was it, Xavier Worthy on Thursday. So they're just suggestions. I'm just presenting odds for you, but there's a little bit of a trend here. It's all happening at DraftKings Sportsbook. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code TIMD. That's code TIMD at signup, and new customers will get $250 in bonus bets when they bet just $5. And on top of that, get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus premium terms at nfl.com/terms. We'll take a break. When we come back, we're expecting to hear from Evan Cohen, co-host of Unsportsmanlike, which you hear every morning here on 99.9 The Fan. He'll join us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline to break down Week 1 in the NFL. Next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Yes or no, that's all we're allowed to say.
Jeez.
All of us. Did Michelle Smallman jinx the Packers? CC, yes or no?
No.
Thank you, Cece.
No.
Yes.
No.
Jovante.
Yes.
Jovante.
Clearly, yes.
Evan, yes.
I want the apology to be as loud as the accusations when Jordan Love comes back and the Green Bay Packers are just fine.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Adam Golden studio with my man Ryan Monsine from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. I knew your dad back in the day. The open house is coming up Friday and Saturday at the Aluminum Company. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, come on out. Take a look at all our products. We have windows, siding, doors, roofing, manufacturers' reps on site to help you answer any of your home improvement needs. And you may just run into this guy right here.
Hey, he's back.
I want to say something.
We can't get rid of you.
Yeah, free ice cream, free drawings for thousands of dollars worth of prizes. Your favorite salesman will be there. Dallas Sproul, Ryan Monsine, who's my personal favorite, Danny Newman, Patrick Day, John Alexander, Jeff Hoffman. Come on by, get your name in for the drawing, win some prizes, and take a look at all the great home improvements the Aluminum Company has to offer.
You guys got tons of great stuff, but all of those names, I have been hearing all of those names for 25 years. It is incredible. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, the open house Friday and Saturday on Hamlin Road in Durham, aluminumcompany.com.
You know Diamonds Direct for their exquisite diamonds and fine jewelry. What about luxury watches? With a handpicked collection by the industry's top timepiece experts, skip the waiting list and get the timepiece you've been eyeing right away. And this month only, enjoy 0% interest for 5 years on all the top brands. Imagine owning a $15,000 luxury watch for just $250 a month. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Diamonds Direct, where you can shop direct for diamonds and watches.
Progressive presents Renters MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
We want to invite you to Atlantic Spas and Billiards to bring more relaxation, wellness, and fun to your home. Sit in a hot tub from Hot Spring or Caldera, relax in a hot sauna from Finleo, or swim in our showroom in our endless pool. We have a fully stocked game room showroom with darts, ping pong, foosball, air hockey, pool tables, and more. Everything we sell for your home, from hot tubs to grills, from saunas to pool tables, promotes relaxation, wellness, and fun. Atlantic Spas and Billiards on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh and Market Street in Wilmington, AtlanticSBNC.com.
Homeowners, listen up. Loan Pronto now has mortgage rates that start with a 4. Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. It's true. Mortgage rates have plummeted to lows we haven't seen in a long time. If your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner with a 4.99% APR. Whether you got your loan last week, last month, or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in the process with another lender, stop now and call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs. in a matter of days with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 919-381-1760 or loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. On approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You hear him every single morning here on 99.9 The Fan. He's one of the co-hosts of Unsportsmanlike, the morning show. He now joins us here on The Drive on the Heaster Automotive Group hotline. His name is Evan Cohen. Evan, thank you for taking the time. We appreciate you jumping on an afternoon show after doing all your work in the morning. We'll start with week one. I mean, from a national perspective, right, you cover the league a little bit differently than we do. What were you most surprised by in NFL week one?
Well, I'll tell you, Tim, the thing that I am probably most surprised about all throughout this league right now is the ineptitude of the Cleveland Browns. I did not see that coming at all in any way, shape, or form. I'm embarrassed to say this because your station, 99.9 The Fan, is such an amazing station for us, and that if you listen to our show on your station in the morning, whenever we open up the calls, it's always people from 99.9 The Fan in Raleigh, right? So, I am so appreciative, and I try to work as hard as I can to have the best thoughts and takes and everything like that. We did a thing last week on the team that you think could come out of the AFC not named the Kansas City Chiefs, okay?
Yep.
And I said the Cleveland Browns.
All right, and full-scale turnabout by the end of week one? There's no sticking to your guns on this one?
No, I'm not giving up on that. But I don't feel great about the quarterback on a lot of levels, I got to be honest with you. See, at least with you guys in Carolina, you could look at Bryce Young, and you could sit there and say, while he may not be what you had hoped he would be, he may not even be close to what Jake Delhomme was for you or Cam Newton was for you, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
He's the kind of guy you could invite to dinner, and you're not feeling awkward or odd, or uncomfortable or scared. Right? I'm not making accusations. I'm saying based on allegations around one quarterback in Cleveland. Yeah, that was the biggest surprise for me in week one. What about you? How would you answer your own question?
Biggest surprise for me at the end of week one, well, actually, Cleveland is up there. I think the Cincinnati Bengals-Patriots game is up there, and all of the survivor pools will tell you because everybody was eliminated picking the Bengals. So I'll flip it right back to you. What's more real? Do the Bengals stink, or are the Patriots way better than anybody thought?
Well, the Patriots have always been better on defense than people realize in the bad years, right? Mm-hmm. And those are only 2 or 3 years. But in the bad years, they've actually always been better than people realize on defense. I don't think the Bengals stink, but I don't know if they're going to be as good as everyone else thinks they are. So I'm going to go with that part of it. I am a Pats fan. I still think they come back to life a little bit, and that if they're lucky, they'll have 6 wins this year. But if you look at that division and the AFC North, I mean, are the Bengals better than Baltimore? No. Are they definitely better than Pittsburgh? I don't know about that. And obviously, I said what I said about Cleveland. So if you told me the Bengals weren't great this year, I mean, is it that unbelievable? Would you really be that shocked by that?
No, I mean, I wouldn't be shocked by it. I do think that what they put on the field in week one isn't indicative of what we're going to get in week 4 from that team when you get T. Higgins back and hopefully at some point Jamar Chase and the team are able to be in the same room without being icy towards each other. We're talking with Evan Cohen, co-host of Unsportsmanlike, but I want to go back to one of those teams you mentioned, right? When you mentioned the Steelers, we thought there was going to be a guy with ties to the area as their quarterback. Russell Wilson obviously played quite a bit at NC State. Have we seen the last of Russ as a starting quarterback? Maybe not even just with the Steelers, but in general in the NFL?
I want to say no, but I was somewhat.
You want to? Are you going to?
Well, no, I'm saying. Okay, no, we have not seen Russell, the last of Russell Wilson as a starting quarterback. Here's the thing. I thought he should have been on the Carolina Panthers last year, and I thought he should have been on the Carolina Panthers this year. I said it on your station, okay? And I'll get to what I mean by that in a second.
Okay.
In this specific spot, I actually thought they would start him this week if he was healthy. Because when they win the game, Pittsburgh does, and they have 6 field goal drives, I know that Justin Fields didn't turn the ball over by way of interception, but I actually thought it was a perfect scenario for Russell Wilson with Mike Tomlin. That Mike Tomlin, the head coach of the Steelers, could easily come out and say, listen, we won the game. It was great, but obviously we did not score points. Russell Wilson was the starter before the season, and thus I have seen nothing to change that, and Russ is going to get an opportunity to start. And I thought it was an easy thing. It would have been easy then if Russ wasn't good. Hey, we won a game with Justin Fields to go right back to him. And it's not that much of a stretch to say we're going to not go with Justin Fields this week because of the fact that, they didn't make touchdown drives. I thought he was going to do the exact opposite. So, yeah, now I'm a little bit nervous that Russell Wilson may never start a game for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like, that's not out of the realm of possibility. And if he doesn't start a game for the Pittsburgh Steelers, or if he's not the starter moving forward, and they find some sort of rhythm here with Justin Fields, I think they are better off moving him somewhere else than they are keeping him, okay, in this spot. Now, the question becomes, do they release him or trade him altogether if this is the case? Now, let me get back to my original point.
All right.
I am of the belief, Tim, you tell me if you disagree with me on this. I'm of the belief that rookie quarterbacks should sit initially and graduate into playing. And I don't care if all of a sudden you play as a rookie, if you're not good, let's call that rookie that's not that good, I don't know, I'm Bryce Young, that there still can be a developmental phase. And I also thought when you have a new coach that didn't draft said rookie, it's not that difficult to then say, in this case with Dave Canales, you know what, guys, I want to move slowly here. I just got here. I don't know Bryce. I'm going to put in a guy in Russell Wilson that I was with in Seattle, and we'll see how long this goes. Bryce is going to be our quarterback long term. Russ is going to show him the ropes. Maybe it's for 1 game, 2 games, 8 games, 17 games, or anywhere in between that, right? I actually thought it was a perfect transition point. I thought it really was, and they didn't take advantage of it. I wonder if we revisit that at all. I wonder if there's a Bryce Young kind of hiccup along the way here, whether or not they'd ever consider that. I know Andy Dalton is sitting there. I know it's a long-winded answer to your question, but I have a lot of Russell Wilson to Carolina takes that I've been holding in for some sense in the last 2 years.
I get the logic. I'm of the belief, I know there's like 2 camps on this, that you play the rookie, and if that ruins them, then they were never going to make it anyway. You had just to be a quarterback in the NFL, you have to be able to overcome getting beat up or being in a bad situation. Bringing in Russell brings in a whole other can of worms, right? I don't think he agrees to come in knowing that the replacement is already on the roster.
Let me ask you a question.
All right.
And you've spent more time on this, obviously, than I have. But I've been thinking about this recently. Have the Panthers ruined Bryce Young, or has Bryce Young ruined the Panthers?
This is my producer, Dennis, who I actually want to ask you a question about in a second.
Yeah, he asked me to buy him shoes today.
I was just going to say, I know you're getting into the sneakerhead world, so he could help that transition. But he's a big fan. I ask him a lot of those same either-or questions that you just asked me, and he looks at me and just says yes, and it means like the yes to both. I think it's a both, right? Bryce Young, I think it's fair to say, wasn't the right pick at number 1 overall, but it's also the right thing to say that the Panthers had about the worst possible incubator to raise a young quarterback. I don't think anyone comes out of this smelling like roses.
So you didn't answer the question. The answer is yes in your mind?
Well, the answer is neither ruined the other. They both ruined themselves, if that makes any sense. Because Bryce Young, if he's not going to make it as an NFL quarterback, he's not going to make it as a Panthers quarterback. If he's going to make it anywhere else, he'll eventually make it from here. To be an NFL quarterback, you have to be able to overcome pretty much whatever is in your path. And I think you'd agree with this. The ones we know that have been good for a decade plus, looking at their careers, it's like, oh, they would have done that regardless. Is it Brady? Is it Mahomes? Is it somebody like Matt Stafford? You can put them in bad situations. They're going to be good.
See, that's an interesting take you have, because that take to me, Tim, is I don't need to know circumstance. I need to know result. And my assumption, I'm saying, correct me if I'm wrong on your take here.
Yep.
Your take seems to be, I'm not as worried about circumstance. I'm worried about result. And if result is iconic and that great, it was going to be great everywhere.
No.
And while is that what you're saying?
Not exactly. I'm saying I know what a good quarterback and a bad offense looks like. And I'm not watching Bryce Young and seeing that. I know what a quarterback that flashes ability looks like, and I'm not seeing that. That doesn't make the situation better or worse. It just means like I've seen like I said, like the Matt Staffords in Detroit. That was an awful situation, and you'd still see the flashes of oh, there it is. We haven't seen that from Bryce. That doesn't let the Panthers off the hook because they're terrible all over the place. But the good quarterbacks tend to find a way.
So let me ask you a question then. If you were going to rewind time, right? And we were going to take what we know right now, and we're instead of doing the drive on September 10th, 2024, we're doing it on September 10th, 2023. You know everything that's going to happen, and you're able to basically fix this, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing a year ago today to fix the Bryce Young situation? Are you starting Andy Dalton last year and waiting on him? Are you saying I wouldn't have drafted him? We know. Let's assume you have him. You can't get C.J. Stroud, obviously. So let's say you have him on the team. What are you doing to have fixed this if you could start from scratch?
The first thing I'm doing is running the ball a ton. The first thing I'm doing is setting him up in a offense and probably having to change the roster, kind of what they did this offseason just earlier, cashing in some of the defense for offensive players. And I'm actually, and I've made this point on air, I'm allowing him more control of the offense. Coming out of college, what was the superpower everybody gave him? He was this savant. He was this genius football IQ. Wasn't the biggest, wasn't the strongest arm, wasn't the fastest, but he had it between the ears. So I'm leaning on that. I'm saying if you see a different play at the line of scrimmage, change it, right? Let your superpower be your superpower, and if it doesn't work out, then at least we gave you all of the chances.
Meaning you'd play him though, still, right?
Oh yeah, I'm not benching him now. I'm playing him the rest of this year.
No, but I'm saying last year, like you wouldn't have started Andy Dalton.
No, gosh, no. Last year?
Yeah.
No, then the only thing that might have done is and heck, it'll give us something to talk about. It may have made that draft pick not the number one overall that you sent to Chicago, which I would have, just from a pride standpoint, probably felt good about the trade. But no, I play quarterbacks. Quarterbacks need reps to get better.
Yeah, I think that in this scenario, they are in big trouble because he's got to get good quickly. And I don't see it. I don't see how.
I completely agree with that. And the faster they realize whether he is or isn't the guy, it's better for the team. Evan, I appreciate you going back and forth with us. I actually the Russell Wilson take was one I hadn't heard of, which is pretty difficult to do around the Panthers around here. So thank you for taking the time. Thank you for chatting sneaks with Dennis, and hopefully we look to do this again soon.
So does this mean I'm buying him sneakers or not? What am I doing here?
I'll accept.
I was going to say we don't turn away free sneakers.
Well, tell everybody what really happened, which is Dennis asked me for my money to buy sneakers. Did you not?
No, I said if you give me your money, I'll buy you sneakers.
Oh, okay.
I'll pick some out for you.
He wants to be your personal shopper, it sounds like.
Well, tell Groovy to get me a sneaker endorsement deal. Let's go. That's what I want, just like Dennis has.
All right. We'll run it up the ladder and we'll get back to you. All right.
All right, guys. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Evan Cohen, co-host of Unsportsmanlike. We'll work on getting him that sneaker sponsorship. He's getting into the sneaker world, and Dennis is obviously somebody that lives in that world as well. We're going to take a break. When we come back, NC State, what does Grayson McCall have to do in order to settle what's going on with the Wolfpack? Before we jump to that topic, I need to make sure everybody is aware of what's going on at Window Nation. I was just talking off air, and it's funny how often the quality of your windows pops up. Tim Donnelly here for Window Nation. I was talking about living on a golf course. We were talking about being a caddy and how, sometimes the caddy needs to read the green for you perfectly. Sometimes they need to let you know that the hole is 200 yards away and the house with the big glass windows that you'll be on the hook for paying for is 250 yards away. So choose your club carefully. Wouldn't it be best, though, if you were aware of the Window Nation windows on that house? So maybe they're a bit more durable. Maybe they're a bit more under lifetime warranty. Maybe they're a bit more 50-point inspection, 20-point installation inspection, right? So you know it's all good. Maybe that trusts you. You would trust it a little bit more to club up and really go for the green. They have a 96% customer satisfaction. They have the lifetime warranty I mentioned. They're ranked highest on Forbes' list of best window installation companies. So you can trust Window Nation for high-quality, affordable windows. Hurry up as this sale ends September 30th, so you have about the rest of the month. If you buy 2 windows, get 2 free. No limit to how much you could save. That goes on and on and on. Buy 2, get 2 free. Stop paying more than you have to for new windows. Schedule a fast, no-obligation in-home estimate now with the pros at Window Nation. The number to call, 866-90-NATION, or you can visit them online at windownation.com to schedule. That's windownation.com. We talk Grayson McCall and State coming up after this.
Move your sports day forward.
The question begging an answer for the year 2 QBs in the NFL, how are these guys going to make the playmakers around them better? These first couple of games will give us an idea if the reprogramming of Bryce Young and the rehabbing of Indy's Anthony Richardson were successful. And if not, it's not good news. We'll be seeing exit hooks out sooner than later.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Is your heating and air system ready for cooler weather? Call Newcomb & Company today to schedule a routine maintenance and ensure your system is operating at peak performance. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs for HVAC and plumbing work. Newcomb & Company has served the area as a Carrier Factory authorized dealer for more than 3 generations. Turn to the experts today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company and Carrier. Your comfort is our business.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season. And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union are proud to announce the return of the Coastal Credit Union Scholar Athlete of the Month. For more than 20 years, we have honored over 200 student athletes that are making a difference on their team and in their community. If you are a teacher, parent, coach, or guardian, nominate your Scholar Athlete today. We will select one winner a month to be featured on 99.9 The Fan and on WRAL News Plus. To nominate a winner, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Congrats to last year's winners. Emma Penkunis of Holly Springs High School, Connor O'Toole of Athens Drive, Kenzie Smith of Fuquay Varina, Patience Ifadon of South Garner High, Carrie Ellen Bryan of Southern Lee, Carson Parker, Apex Friendship, Jason Howard of Wakefield High School, and Eric Stoll of Green Level. We also want to thank all of our other local schools who nominated a student. Apex Friendship, Jordan Matthews, Northwood, Green Hope High, Willow Springs, Jacksonville High, South Granville, Cleveland High, Riverside, and South Johnston.
This is Creighton Blackwell with Coastal Credit Union, and I would like to offer my sincerest thanks to every school that nominated a student for this year's award. This award is more than a celebration of exceptional athletes. It's also a celebration of the schools and the communities that helped them grow into the incredible leaders that we like to celebrate.
Congratulations to all of our Coastal Credit Union Scholar Athletes of the Month. If you want to nominate a high school athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Hey everybody, Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. I'm ready for more NFL, and FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is continuing its special offer to keep us watching more. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then, with your YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account, a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. But I need you to head on over to FanDuel.com/Paul, Paul with a capital P, and download America's #1 sportsbook. 21 plus and present in North Carolina, full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after free trial. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Kick football season off with a deal this month from Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpets cleaned at $119 and 25% off your air duct cleaning. ZeroResRaleigh.com. ZeroResRaleigh.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you once again to Evan Cohen, co-host of Unsportsmanlike, joined us before the break on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. We got to dive into a little bit of quarterback developing theory. It feels like every once in a while you hear like Harvard is offering a graduate level class on the study of the Foo Fighters or whatever it is, the history of Tupac music. I feel like, advanced quarterback theory is one that would pop up. Like MIT is doing a study on quarterback development and advanced theory. It's, an elective class in their stats department. We got to dive into a little bit there. And we're going to dive in similarly to a different level of quarterback development and theory for Grayson McCall and the NC State Wolfpack. This is, and actually maybe I shouldn't, I just led you astray. I don't think we should put it in the stats department. I think it should probably be in the psychology department of a university. I think football and quarterbacking is much more kind of in the psyche and the brain and the personality than it is the shoulder and the arm or the legs, because there are, I think most people would be surprised how many people could make the throws that you need to make to be a borderline mediocre effective college quarterback. I'm not saying there's millions, but I'm saying there's a lot of backup quarterbacks. There's a lot of Division II quarterbacks with arms strong enough to make the throws. It comes down to, can you do it when the lights are brightest? Can you do it under pressure? Can you do it when you know you're going to get hit? Can you do it when the read is a 50-50 read and you have to commit? Grayson McCall, the quarterback of NC State, we know he can make the throws. We've been saying that since the preseason. You can physically watch it on film, right? He did enough good things at Coastal Carolina before transferring to State this year that you can go watch it and say, like, all right, he can throw the out, he can throw the dig, he can throw the deep ball. He can. The question is, why isn't he doing it now? Why isn't he doing it at a level high enough through the first 2 games against Western Carolina and Tennessee, which, by the way, couldn't have 2 more different opponents? He is the guy moving forward. That much was confirmed by Dave Doran, who spoke to the media, I believe, yesterday. And this clip is him reinforcing Grayson McCall as their guy at quarterback.
We feel great about Grayson, and he's a really good player. He's a good leader. He's hard on himself. He was motivated to play better. He owns everything that he can do, and he's devout about going about his business the right way, respecting his teammates, doing his job. And so things didn't go his way the other night. There's definitely plays he wishes he had back. We can protect better for him as well. But I'm excited about Grayson McCall. He's our guy, and he's going to rebound well.
So he's your guy. There's no doubt about it. He's going to rebound well. The next question becomes how. How do you right whatever is wrong? He's better than he's showing on his field. And by the way, that's probably haunting him right now.
Oh, for sure.
There is nothing worse than walking off a field going, I know I'm better than that.
It's like, I've been successful for the last 4.5 years of college football. What happened?
You're watching film and you're like, why in the heck did I do that? Quarterback is a funny position. And I said this yesterday, but I want to go into it a bit further. Grayson McCall reminds me of a professional athlete that gets a big contract and suddenly that pressure sits on their chest, right? Suffocates them a little bit. And it goes back to something. Now this is more of a jokey analogy, but I think it gets the point across that I'm trying to make. The mullet thing, right? He's got the mullet, but remember when he showed up at NC State, he cut the mullet. He had a mullet. It's I'm sure a conversation piece, shows some of his personality. Maybe it's a joke, but he had the mullet at Coastal Carolina. He showed up at NC State, and it was one of the stories of his appearance at ACC Kickoff was he had cut the mullet, and everybody else was like, what are you doing? Grow it back. So he was in the process of growing it out. That is the quarterback that is trying to play a part. And I don't like quarterbacks that are trying to play a part. I like quarterbacks that are themselves and they happen to be really good at quarterback. You know, and again, this is one of those oxymorons, but I'll try to explain it a little bit more. You need to simultaneously care more and work harder than everyone else on the team and have a healthy amount of bleep it. And I believe he has the caring and the hard work, or else, I mean, Dave Doran is not endorsing anyone like that isn't grinding and putting in all the effort to that we know about Dave Doran. So I think the caring, the leading, the hard work, he has that. Now he needs a healthy amount of bleep it. And when I say bleep it, what I mean is you do all the prep, you get ready, you study the film. Once you decide to make a throw, there's a bit of, I'm going to just let this thing fly, and I'm going to deal with whatever the results are. And it feels ridiculous, but it really is like actually, no, here's the best way to put it. We've all seen the meme of, I'll pick an example. Joe Burrow, it's a picture of him, just guy in his face, and it looks like he's throwing a javelin. He's reaching so far back to chuck this ball up, right? Mm-hmm. And then the caption just says, bleep it, Jamar Chase is down there somewhere. And yeah, it's like a joke on how good that receiver is or whatever. You see it with Matthew Stafford back during the Calvin Johnson days, like bleep it, Calvin Johnson's down there somewhere. That's not 100% a joke. Once you decide to make the throw, once your brain says, that's the read we're going to, and it could be something as simple as, that's my best guy, and I think he's better than the defense on him, you have to be so fully committed to that throw. And that's the thing I'm missing from Grayson McCall. He's making the decision, all right, here's where I want to throw it, and then it's becoming not a fully committed throw. And that's how you end up with, the ball tailing off at the end, falling off the table as they call it, a little behind on a crossing route, a little short on a deep ball, a little too much touch rather than a driven ball. You know what you're like. There's no point in hesitating. Every throw, I'm using a million analogies here, but it's because it's psychology, right? I can't put anybody in a quarterback's mind. Every throw is jumping off a cliff. Every single one. And if anyone has ever jumped off the high dive, if you've ever jumped off, the high rock at the lake, or you've been on a tropical vacation and there's the one spot in the tide pool that you jump off, you know what the advice is, right? Once you decide to go. You got to get at least 6 feet away from the rock ledge. You got to jump. If you jump and hesitate and then you try to stop and you just tumble in, you're going to hit your head on the way down. So whatever you do, go. That's every throw. Once you decide, you have to go for it, and Grayson's hesitating. And we haven't seen that in the past. So you start to ask why. Maybe it's the expectations. Maybe there is some money pressure, right? Because we assumed there was a nice NIL deal that came with becoming NC State's quarterback out of the transfer portal. Maybe it's eyeballs. Maybe it's, oh my goodness, this is the ACC. Oh my goodness, that's Tennessee. Oh my goodness, this field isn't teal like it was back at Coastal. Have some fun. Let it rip. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's keep this quarterback nerd train rolling. Let's look over at UNC. Conner Harrell. The Conner Harrell portion of the season for USC started with a win. Yesterday, I called it uneven. I think that's a fair description for Conner Harrell.
Making his first ever regular season start?
First ever regular season start. There's also a weird part of he rode the emotional roller coaster. Coming into the season, he was probably hoping to be the week 1 starter. Last year, when he started the bowl game, that felt like exactly what he wanted, right? He knew when he committed to UNC, he was going to sit behind Drake May until whenever Drake May left. Then once Drake May left, he moved into the bowl game. That all felt natural. There was nowhere along the way for him to be questioning himself, questioning his relationship with the coaches, or getting mad. Then they bring in Max Johnson. Max Johnson starts week 1. At the end of a competition, there probably was some disappointment, maybe some anger, and then Max Johnson gets hurt. Conner Harrell's back in. It's a roller coaster. So the uneven, I'm not saying was unwarranted, but watching the game, it looked uneven. And that seems to be the evaluation from internal of that program as well. Here's Mac Brown talking about the need for consistency with Conner Harrell.
Conner can throw the ball. You got to get more consistent, but he's got a great deep ball. He made 2 or 3 really good throws during the game, and he gives you the element to run. That is hard. He runs 4.4. So when he sees it's not there, and that's one thing we've got to get him to do, and it's his birthday and Chip Lindsey's birthday today, which is really unusual. So it'll be a birthday party in the quarterback room for sure. But we've got to get Conner, when he doesn't see it, go. Because you're so fast, you can make a difference. And when you run that fast, it's going to change the way people play you.
Consistency. I actually think it's that's what quarterback is consistency. It's similar to offensive line in that way. I've made the comparison to maybe wide receiver. Wide receiver can have 2 drops and 2 90-yard touchdowns. That's a 50% successful rate, but that is the best game of your season. Quarterback, you can have, of 70 offensive plays, 67 perfect execution and 3 interceptions, and that's a bad day. So consistency is important. The thing that I think Conner Harrell can get a little bit better at are what I call good misses. It's a golf term. It's a billiards term, I believe, which is, right, if a golfer, the better you are as a golfer, the more you can control where you're missing it. And what I mean by that is there's not a golfer out there. Weekend hack, scratch golfer, your buddy down the street, the person that plays the par 3. Like, there's not a golfer out there that our best shot, right, the one you hit once a round that keeps you coming back, isn't going to find the green. But a PGA Tour golfer will mishit it, and it'll go to the left part of the green, right? And they just are able to control their misses. That's not a good swing. Luckily, I'm in the green side bunker rather than when I mishit it, which means I'm in 2 neighborhoods over, right? Or I'm 13
through someone's window,
13 feet in front of me because I just dribbled it. It was almost a whiff. Like, their misses are better. No quarterback is going to be 100 of 100, but what Conner Harrell can do is, his misses aren't big sacks, or his misses are still completions. The quarterback, the wide receiver just doesn't have the yards after the catch because it was a off-target throw, or even his misses are tuck it and run for 4 yards because he has that ability. If you look at the Charlotte game, and it's never going to be as pronounced against Charlotte as it will be against other power conference opponents. I'm worried for what Conner Harrell might do if the play doesn't go as scripted. And that's the opposite of what should happen for a player like Conner Harrell because he has the physical gifts to save bad plays. Right here, pocket passer, play doesn't go your way. Guess what you have at your disposal? The throwaway. Put that bad boy 6 rows in the stands, live to fight another day. Conner Harrell has something before that. Play doesn't go your way, tuck it and run. Right? Use your legs. Run that 4-4. Which is like a gift and a responsibility because it just also gives you another way to think you can get out. Sometimes the throwaway is a luxurious option. Some of the best plays quarterbacks have made have been not compounding errors. A lot of interceptions thrown because guys ran wrong routes. One time in college, I tried to throw it to the wrong route. You want to talk about a real quick decision that I regretted? Like I said, this wasn't exactly, but I'll give you the nuts and bolts. Say he was supposed to run a 10-yard in, and he ran a 10-yard out. So instead of just going, he ran the wrong route, let me get to my second read, third read, fourth read, my brain went kind of open on the out. Let's give this a ride. Threw it out there, didn't go well. Right? That's letting a mistake compound a mistake. That's letting a miss become a bad miss. Probably should have just thrown it 6 rows in the stands. Said, sorry, coach, he ran the wrong route, got me all rattled. Coach would have said, that's fine. Let's punt. Let's get to the next play. Every drive ends in a kick, field goal, PAT, or punt. We have some Jason Isbell tickets to give away. Oh, we have some breaking news, actually. What do you got for us, Dennis?
Carolina Panthers defensive lineman Derek Brown placed on injured reserve. I'm still trying to figure out if his
I was just going to say, I need
injury
some
designation in terms of like return at some point this season or not.
Exactly
but nonetheless,
what I was going to ask.
It is a injured reserve. Also, Panthers did make a couple other roster moves. Jamie Sheriff, that they claimed off waivers from, I believe, Seattle, if I remember correctly, waived him.
Okay, what kind of outside linebacker, edge rusher?
Outside linebacker, edge rusher. They promoted Mike Boone and Lonnie Johnson from the practice squad to the 53-man roster. Those guys got promoted as well. So a couple moves happening today as well. Also, with the report that they're also looking to possibly make a signing coming up later on here in the coming days. Possibly tomorrow, my guess. You're going to see edge rusher, outside linebacker, defensive end, whatever you want to call him, Charles Harris, who had his best season in Detroit back in 2021 when he had 7.5 sacks with Todd Wash, was the defensive line coach, who happens to be the defensive line coach for the Carolina Panthers.
Do you know what we need? And we're going to talk about this in Football at 4 coming up at the top of the hour. We're going to need, I don't know if you can make this happen, but it'll be a request, like circus music, because we got some musical chairs going on the edge rusher position for the Carolina Panthers. Jamie Sheriff in, Jamie Sheriff out. Kayla Von Chason in, Kayla Von Chason out. And it's just gonna, everybody's walking around. All right, Charles Harris, you're in. You get a chair. All right, never mind. Jimmy Sheriff, you're gone. You don't get a chair. All right, where's Ekuliota? All right, you're still around. DJ Johnson. There's a lot going on with those edge rushers. We'll talk about it again, like I said, Football at 4. Dive further into it. Right now, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. And, of course, that includes my guy, Gordon Miller. You may hear somewhere else, our rates are lower than Miller's rates, or this rate is lower than Miller's rates. I ask you, I implore you to make sure you look all the way through the entire process, because you sometimes see that on like airline flights where I bought the cheapest ticket, some discount airline, and I got this one. It's $50 cheaper, and then as you go through the process, oh, look at this. My checked bag is $45. I'll just carry one on. Oh, wait a second. A carry-on bag is $55. You know what? I would like to not be in the I don't know, the back of the plane. So I'd like a seat kind of normal, not near the bathrooms. That's going to be another $30. I don't want to have 2 layovers in Atlanta. I don't know how I'd have 2, like take off and land in the same airport. Doesn't make any sense. But that's going to be another $50, and that's going to be another $50. You want water? That's going to be another. And you want headphones? That's going to be another $50. And suddenly you've paid twice as much because of all the costs and add-ons and fees, rather than maybe some other ticket that was cheaper because it was all-inclusive. And that's kind of what a no-closing cost loan is for Miller Lending. It's the all-inclusive option. You don't have the third-party fee. You don't have the closing costs. None of that is there. So while the rate may be a hair lower, the total price to you is more than a hair higher. Give them a call. They can break it down for you, take you through that whole process. Miller Lending, the phone number, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377, or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. Once again, that is millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. We'll take a break. When we come back, more of the musical chairs at edge rusher for the Carolina Panthers, which, quick update, Derek Brown, season-ending IR. His season is over. Give you a few minutes to take that in, come to grips with it. Back after this.
Keep pounding. Panther Talk, Panthers Playbook, the paw print. Follow your Carolina Panthers all season with us.
Stacked receivers both to the right and the left. Hubbard, the running back to the right side of Young, who's setting up to throw. Over the middle, wide open, touchdown as the Panthers tight end, the veteran Jordan Matthews, scores on the opening drive for Carolina.
Your home for complete Carolina Panthers coverage. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hey Raleigh homeowners, this is Keith Gregory, Vice President with Baker Home Exteriors, but more importantly, a homeowner like you. I invite you to join the thousands who have trusted us to service and upgrade their homes. We treat every home as the sanctuary it is, transforming and preserving homes with roofing, siding, doors, decks, and window services for over a century. Trust our expert team for professional installation. Visit bakerroofing.com and schedule a time with our team.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right, enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit diamondsdirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
NFL Week 2 is here, and you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Adam Gold here, and if you are new to FanDuel, we're going to get you started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 wager. Bills, Dolphins, Thursday night. Dalton Kincaid, anytime touchdown. Tyreek Hill, over receiving yards. Josh Allen, over passing yards. Just visit FanDuel.com/AdamGold and make every moment more this season. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of the NFL. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And you know, we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Put up your Dukes. Cheer on Duke football as they take on the Yukon Huskies on Saturday, September 14th. Catch the Blue Devils kicking off at Brooks Field at Wallace Wade Stadium at 6 p.m. Tickets start at just $22. New this season, you can add the Devils Deck in-stadium experience to your ticket and receive exclusive access to the end zone tailgate space with all-you-can-eat food and drink. Tickets are available now at goduke.com/footballticks or by calling 919-681-BLUE. Duke football. Bleed blue.
Hello? Hey, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. Did you know we've got you fully covered?
I've taken up beekeeping. I'm always covered.
I'm talking the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage at up to half the cost.
Same honey, half the work?
Exactly.
Sweet.
Just call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2022.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Raleigh's injury lawyers.
Bounces away
Visit GotBrian.com.
That's GotBrian.com. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Feels good out there this afternoon. High temperatures in the mid-80s, but our humidity remains low, and that'll be the case at least through tomorrow. We'll see an overnight low of 58 under clear skies, and then for tomorrow, looking at mostly sunny skies with highs in the low to mid-80s.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 92 points to 40,736. Market update brought to you by Zero Res. Kick football season off with a deal this month from Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpets clean starting at $119 and 25% off your air duct cleaning. Head over to ZeroResRaleigh.com. This hour of the drive brought to you by Train Heating and Cooling Services. Train Heating and Cooling Systems are engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Derek Brown, if you missed it right before the break, I consider him the best player on the Carolina Panthers. He is on injured reserve, and it's the kind of injured reserve that goes all the way through the season. Season-ending injured reserve based on a knee injury suffered in Week 1. My goodness, the Carolina Panthers can't catch a break. I'm not even going to argue that like Derek Brown would have fixed anything or solved anything, but he's the one thing you had.
He was like your one guarantee.
He was your solid, legit star. He was the one who, when like the NFL Top 100 comes out, you could legitimately be upset that Derek Brown wasn't on it. Now, next year, I mean, you don't even have to get excited when those. You don't got to click on the link.
Don't got to look.
You don't even have to wonder. He was the one during the preseason, right? ESPN polls all of the executives and scouts anonymously across the league for the top 10 at each position. He was the only one that made it.
Mm-hmm.
The only one. And it took him 1 week. 1 week. Done for the season. And it's just going to accentuate, right? Because he was the one piece that everything rotated around. It's just going to accentuate how little stability there is and the defensive front for the Carolina Panthers. In other moves that happened today, they waived Jamie Sheriff, linebacker. They signed to the practice squad Deshaun Williams.
Deshaun Williams, who started 10 games for the Panthers last year as a defensive lineman, played in 16 as well.
On the defensive front, so comes with awareness of the team a little bit. They signed Charles Harris yesterday, who is a edge rusher type as well. I'm not necessarily advocating for this seriously, but part of me, I mean, you've all seen the movie Invincible, right?
Mm-hmm. Start having tryouts?
Hey, if you think you can rush the passer and you're over 225, right?
Let's go on that.
If you are 260 and you can run a sub 5, like show up to the stadium at 4. We need to you're the Carolina Panthers and you're rotating through defensive ends nonstop. And I'm not saying rotating through like you get a start. All right, let's mix it up. Let's try this. Move an inside guy outside. I'm talking about like these guys weren't on the roster a couple weeks ago, and they've already completely run their course. We saw Kaylavon Chason sign a 1-year, $4 million deal, whatever it was, $5 million deal. Didn't even make it to week 1. When that happened, they brought in Jamie Sheriff from I think it was Seattle. He's already worn out his welcome. All of these, you get in, you get out, you get in, you get out. It's going to be tough to put anything together with that. And maybe it's like I'm trying to think of the best analogy here. You figure you might stumble into one, so you're just, it's a volume deal. That's not the best strategy. Pick someone you believe in and let them grow roots for a little bit here. Trust your evaluation. What does it say about how much you trust your ability to evaluate defensive ends and edge rushers, outside linebackers, that you feel good enough to sign one 3 weeks ago? Whatever good intentions you had or positive things you saw, you're already completely convinced they aren't there anymore, and you move on and you bring in the next guy. How sure of your convictions were you 3 weeks ago? Thank goodness for Eku Leota. Talked about him being a silver lining earlier because, this team got 1 sack against the Saints. 1. What did I say in the preseason? I looked at the schedule and I went Derek Carr, Justin Herbert, Gardner Minshew, maybe not as much, but then Joe Burrow. Like, the first month of your season was filled with players that if you don't pressure the quarterback, they will pick you apart. They're not necessarily, outside of maybe Joe Burrow and Herbert when he's at his peak, they're not like the scariest quarterbacks in the league. They're not Mahomes, Allen, and Jackson, and maybe Stroud. Like, they're not the best quarterbacks in the league, but you give them all day in the pocket, they'll darn sure look like the best quarterbacks in the league.
Oh, yeah. See Derek Carr's stats from Sunday.
See the highlight film from Sunday.
Yeah.
And I talk about this with defensive backs, right? If you're a quarterback and you see a defensive back that was, on the street on Tuesday and signed, right? They were just at home hanging out. I say they don't wear a jersey number. They wear a target, right? They wear a bullseye that you're going to attack for the entirety of the game. If you see an edge rusher out there on the field that was at home on Monday or on someone else's practice squad on Monday, and they're brought in and they're out there on the field, it's maybe not a target because you're not going to throw passes on them, but there is a bit of, oh, okay, I can take a little bit more time here. I'm going to give my first read an extra beat or two to get open because I'm pretty darn confident my $30 million a year tackle is going to be able to lock up this, cast off from whatever practice squad they picked him up on, or, he was working out at Lifetime Fitness 6 days ago. So I'm going to take my sweet old time here and see if I can't get a big play.
If I'm an opposing team, all 5 guys going into routes.
Yeah,
all 5 guys. I just have my front 5, my 5 offensive linemen to protect. I don't need to hold a tight end or a running back. I don't need chips. I don't need any of that stuff right now.
And I'm aware of where Jadeveon Clowney is.
That's the only thing I worry about. Where's he? Oh, he's to the right. Everyone slide that way.
And you're good.
Done.
You don't have to worry about Derek Brown anymore.
You can just draw plays in the dirt before going out there in the huddle. Let's just call it what it is. Hey, you want to run a post? All right, you can run a post. Hey, you run a cross underneath. I'm going to run a quick out here in the flat. How about you settle in the middle and you just go long? Done.
That is it's a really fun way to play quarterback. But even if it's like, did you just call a triple move?
I did.
Do you want me to do the out, up, and out again?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, I'll have the time. Don't worry, you're good.
Don't worry, you got it.
It's I would have rather they stuck to their convictions, unless it's a salary cap move. The K'Lavon Chaisson thing, I think, was about cutting salary as much as it was cutting the player.
There was some of that into it.
But I would much rather, like, if you liked Jamie Sheriff last week, part of me is like, see it out for a month. Switching it out for somebody else, they're going to have to, and I know, as you mentioned, Deshaun Williams already played in the system, but it's hectic the week you're moving around like that. It's hard to just be, landing gear down, flight on the ground. All right, you're in the game. It's not easy. A little bit of stability goes a long way for players. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan.
This all sucks, by the way.
It's brutal. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh. If you're watching on our YouTube right now, I have a G-Shock Mudmaster on my wrist. G-Shock, to me, is one of the more underrated and at times misinterpreted brands out there. Go to the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop. They have an awesome display case of G-Shock. I think so often you think about it and it's, either the cheaper rugged watch, and sometimes it is, right? They do have great values, and they do have watches that are very, very, very tough. But there's also some watches that'll surprise you when it comes to their movement, when it comes to the materials they're made out of, when it comes to their look. It's not just the G-Shock from the 1990s, although those are awesome and I do like them and I have a few. It's also maybe a higher brand of watch that you're not exactly used to. And then, if it's good enough for the special forces and everybody else, right? When their lives depend on it, they depend on G-Shock in a lot of cases. It's probably good enough for me and you. So check it out. Amongst the Omegas and the pre-owned and vintage Rolexes and the Norcanes and the Blancpains, take a stroll on by the G-Shock case as well. You might see something you're not expecting. And when you're there at the Bailey's Fine Jewelry in the Village District of Raleigh, and you're checking out the watches, make sure you tell them you heard about it right here on 99.9 The Fan from me, Tim Donnelly. They'll appreciate it. I'll appreciate it. We're going to take a break. When we come back, it's Cop or Drop, and we update the DEF Canales meter. How worried, how panicked should we be about Dave Canales? The DEF Canales meter will be updated following Cop or Drop coming up next.
We're kicking it this fall with college football. Join 99.9 The Fan all season long and catch your favorite teams in action. The ACC, the SEC, and every conference that matters. You'll find the best matchups here.
Jordan Moore delivers, and the Blue Devils have the lead.
College football on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wilkinson Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC in Sanford and by Amedios.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season. And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
It's Trick Out Your Wheels with Sound Station and Security. Our contestants are ruling the streets. Here come the bikes, and the bass is bumping. Sound Station and Security can hook up all your vehicles with amazing custom stereo systems and speakers. Does that golf cart have strobe lights? It sure does. Sound Station has tons of LED lighting options for your bike, ATV, and even golf cart, and we install it all.
If it's got wheels, Sound Station and Security has got you covered. In Raleigh, Smithfield, and myhotsound.com.
Our state's future begins with our students. That's why the North Carolina Education Lottery has contributed over $10 billion to education. Through scholarships, school construction, support staff, and pre-K programs, lottery dollars move our state forward, helping students become the best versions of themselves. Visit movingncstudentsforward.com and share how your student or school community has benefited for a chance to earn $2,000 for your story. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline 877-718-5543.
Homeowners, listen up. Loan Pronto now has mortgage rates that start with a 4. Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. It's true. Mortgage rates have plummeted to lows we haven't seen in a long time. If your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner with a 4.99% APR. Whether you got your loan last week, last month, or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in the process with another lender, stop now and call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 919-381-1760 or loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
With NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV, you can watch the most live NFL games all in one place, which means you can watch the Rams and the Colts and the Vikings and the Bengals and the Buccaneers and the Chargers, or whoever you're rooting for, all in your living room. But not literally, of course. That would be dangerous. Watch every game every Sunday with NFL Sunday Ticket and YouTube TV. Sign up at youtube.com/NFLST. Local and national games on YouTube TV. NFL Sunday Ticket for out-of-market games excludes digital-only games.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence dyne test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for Cop or Drop, one of my favorite segments of the week. It's where Dennis makes predictions, throws statements, asks questions, a whole bunch of different stuff, and I tell him whether I am copping or dropping and do my best to explain why I am on the side that I am on.
Mm-hmm.
Dennis, what do we got?
All right, let's start off with, let's go Carolina Panthers on this one. Derek Brown placed on season-ending injured reserve. We've seen some moves already taking place with guys being released and brought in and blah, blah, blah. Cop or drop. DJ Johnson, last year's 3rd-round pick, will be cut before the end of the season. Cop or drop?
I'm going to drop it.
Okay.
But
go on.
I feel foolish saying any edge rusher on this team other than Jadeveon Clowney won't be cut. Like it seems like everybody's head
except
is on
for Echo Leota. He's our silver lining.
Tell me if he doesn't go quiet for 6 weeks, you wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being released.
There's that.
Right now, he's, I think, playing the best of any edge on the team through one game. I think statistically that's obvious. But it's – I don't think this defensive staff, the front office, loves any of the edge rushers on this team. Jadeveon Clowney, the contract is you're never going to move on from that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, unless you're counting like A'Shawn Robinson as an edge, which he's just not.
He's not. He's an interior defensive lineman.
Then everyone's head's on the chopping block. It's funny. I'll put it like this: I'm in and no one cares about the players on my fantasy team, but I'm in a pretty competitive dynasty fantasy league, and there are certain players that we refer to, or at least a few of us do. If you really love a player, like he's your guy, you drafted him, you call him my adopted son. So, like when someone approaches you about a trade, you go like, hey, you're going to have to really knock my socks off on this one. That's my adopted son right there. And basically what that just means is like, I love this player. Like I value him more than the rest of the league. I don't get the sense that the Panthers would do that for any of their players on the defensive line. There's nobody that it's like, hey, could you see yourself cutting them? Absolutely not. That's my adopted son. It's like a jokey way to say it, but I just don't get the feeling that they love anybody. So DJ Johnson, I think he makes it to the end. He is a recent 3rd-round pick. They did trade up to go get him.
Mm-hmm.
You are a bit pot committed, but I mean, at the same time, would my jaw be on the floor if he's cut tomorrow? Probably not.
Nope. I mean, there is still when does DJ Wanham come back? He's on physically unable to perform list. Same with Amari Barno.
Same with Jaden Crumedy. He's IR.
Yeah,
so,
he's injured reserve, but he's designated to return. But he's interior defensive lineman, kind of like Derek Brown.
We've seen, we've seen an interior guy get hurt, an edge get claimed, an edge get hurt, an interior guy get claimed. It doesn't seem like there's a very concrete plan on the defensive front for Carolina.
It's already patchwork, and we haven't even played 2 games.
It was, and the one part that everything rotated around it was Derek Brown, and he's out for the season.
I know.
Right? It's when you're building the living room. Hey, I got a giant sectional couch. It's like, all right, there's only like one place the sectional can fit, so that's going to fill in the rest of the room. You just took the sectional out. Now it's, I don't know, give me a love seat. Can we put a hammock inside?
Hey, I'm down for hammocks. Let's go.
Do we have the TV? Do we not? Do we get the fake fireplace? I've got a coffee table I had in college. Can we get that out of storage? Like it could be anything right now.
Cop or drop. Carolina Panthers are drafting a quarterback in the first round next year. Cop or drop.
Drop. There's 2 reasons why.
Okay.
One, and I was just talking about this with Adam Gold during the studio transition here.
The line change?
Yeah, exactly. The Adam Gold show is in the same studio. You can hear it here on 99.9 The Fan right before. I don't particularly like the upcoming quarterback class.
Okay.
Actually, I lied. There's 3 reasons. One, I don't particularly like the quarterback class, and I think they're going to be drafting high enough that you better love the quarterback that you take. 2, I think you just got Chicago Bears swindled, and you're going to do everything you're going to want to do that to someone else.
Okay.
And 3, we haven't seen the Panthers under David Tepper do the same thing twice to go get a quarterback. Right? We've seen them trade, we've seen them sign, we saw them take somebody the team was looking to get off of. Actually, I guess you could say Baker and Sam Darnold might have been similar.
Oh, very similar, yeah.
But there was the Teddy Bridgewater, there was the Cam brought back, there was this, there was that. To me, they just tried the drafting high thing. I'm almost convinced that next offseason, whoever the highest paid free agent quarterback is, comes to Carolina. And some might say it's a pretty likely if Bryce Young doesn't turn it around and have a second half of the season like Jordan Love had last year and convince everybody he's the guy of the future, I think the one way they haven't attacked it yet is like the Kirk Cousins, the giant whoever the trendiest free agent is. And I don't even know who that is at this point in time. Or the Russell Wilson, just some not this year's Russell Wilson, the Russell Wilson of like 2 years ago that becomes available.
Justin Fields,
depending on how well he plays.
Yeah.
Depending on how well he plays, is there a good quarterback on a bad team out there that might be able to pull something? Maybe. I just don't think they go like, oh, geez, we really messed up with that quarterback we drafted at the top of the draft. David Tepper is going to go, that's okay, try again. I just don't see that happening.
All right, cop or drop, NC State football, we'll go there, does not lose the rest of the month of September. Cop or drop.
All right.
Yeah, Louisiana Tech this coming weekend.
I'm bad with calendars.
They've got Clemson the week after that.
The rest, and then Northern Illinois.
And then Northern Illinois.
Which at one
25th in the country.
Which at one point in time looked like nice little group of 5 game to collect yourself before, after Clemson, before heading into the ACC teeth of their schedule. Oh, no. They just beat Notre Dame and they're a top 25 team in the country. After seeing what they've put on the field the first 2 weeks, I think they're going to lose before the end of the month.
Okay.
I think they beat Louisiana Tech. I think they're favored by 22.
Possibly.
Last I checked. Clemson's going to be a tough one. And then if you escape Clemson, Northern Illinois waiting there after an emotional win over Clemson would be a trap game of all trap games. So I'll say they lose one of those 3, and then I think they right the ship and win 3 or 4 in a row at least to enter ACC play.
All right, which one do they lose between Louisiana Tech, Clemson, and Northern Illinois?
Probably Clemson.
Okay.
Probably Clemson.
Clemson has an off week this week too, by the way.
Clemson has an off week. I think
at Clemson,
the Georgia game was a cold glass of water to the face for them. And part of what, the whole Dabo transfer thing, which I've been on the record, take a transfer. It does make they're going to be slow risers, and they're depending on a couple of freshman wide receivers. That's going to take them time. Obviously, they weren't ready for the bright lights against Georgia. They were very good against App State. They're just going to continue to get more comfortable. So they'll be better next week than they are this week. Better the week after that than they are next week. So it's I think probably Clemson. But then you have the opportunity to bounce back, get a maybe top 25 win over Northern Illinois.
Which would be a good one at home.
Oh, yeah.
North Carolina is at home this coming Saturday. Cop or drop. The Tar Heels go undefeated the rest of the month of September. They have home against NC Central this Saturday, home the following weekend against James Madison, and then on the road at Duke, September the 28th.
Well, I will say this. Perhaps I have overhyped JMU as a dangerous opponent.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen what they took care of Charlotte pretty good week one. The coaches were doing, the players were doing the never again speeches after this week. They beat Gardner-Webb 13-6, and it came down the stretch.
Hey, Gardner-Webb is an FCS playoff team, by the way. But an FCS school nonetheless.
JMU has been a top 25 FBS team at times over the last couple of years.
They have been.
They very much struggled against Gardner-Webb. So I'll give UNC the win there, even though, just as a program, I still think James Madison's a little frisky. You said NC Central this weekend.
Yep, this Saturday.
I think they get the win over NC Central. No disrespect to NC Central, but similar. So it comes down to Duke. I think I'm taking UNC. I assume by then Kamen Rucker will be back after dealing with whatever he tweaked in the weight room this past week. I'm assuming Omarion Hampton's minor injury is minor. I'm assuming Bryson Nesbitt's minor injury is minor. If those are true, I think UNC just has a little bit more firepower. It is in Durham. And Duke has impressed me with their grit, but I lean UNC there. So I guess I'm copping 3 straight wins, which would put them at 5-0.
It would.
Heading to Pittsburgh, at home against Pittsburgh. Very winnable game.
Yep, home against Pitt, home against Georgia Tech. That's the thing. 4 of their next 5 games are at home.
It is
And then the one road game of that 5 is just go 15-5-0-1 to Durham.
Very nice, winnable schedule for UNC. So, yeah, I'll give them the next 3, and then we'll revisit moving forward.
Okay, next one here. Op or drop. Jordan Moore finishes with more receiving yards this season than KC Concepcion. Jordan Moore of Duke.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Again, just receiving yards, not total yards, receiving yards.
Which is what to me that comes if KC Concepcion remains true kind of wide receiver, I'd take him about, and I think that passing game will wake up a little bit. I'd take him over just about any wide receiver. The issue would be if the running game for NC State continues struggling, how much do they have to do what they did last year, which is essentially for a chunk of plays in the playbook, turn KC Concepcion into a running back, which would obviously take away from his opportunities to rack up receiving yards. Also, Jordan Moore already has the jump because he's been 100 plus in their first 2 games.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take Jordan Moore. I'll go cop. I'll take Jordan Moore.
I also thinking from this point, who else Malik Murphy throwing to?
That's kind of what I was getting at. Grayson McCall, even when the things are going well, should be dispersing the football to a bunch of different playmakers.
Yeah.
Duke has proven like when they need a third down, when they need a drive, the first read Jordan Moore, second read Jordan Moore, third read somebody else, and rightfully so. He's a very, very good player.
Both of those guys are studs, by the way.
I agree.
Like both those guys, but I think Concepcion finishes with more total yards, like you mentioned, the running ability and all that. But I think Jordan Moore is just. He's just going to get so many targets every single week.
KC Concepcion had taken touchdowns.
He has 3 to Jordan Moore's 1. That's
Jordan
where
Moore's
we are
was pretty
right
important, though.
Real quick, final one.
Let's go.
Cop or drop, Bryce Young at some point this season gets benched.
Dropping it. Hurt is different than benched.
Yeah, I'm talking benched.
Gosh, I hope I can drop this with an emphasis. I think we're gonna have to have this debate tomorrow. I've seen too many people talking about benching Bryce Young. Even if you're entertaining the idea, I don't understand.
I've seen some people say, hey, you know what? Let's get that top 5 picks. Let's keep Bryce Young out there.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
That and what it is, by the end of this year, 100% know exactly what you think about Bryce Young. That's good, bad, or indifferent. By the end of this year, you'll have 2 years as a starter, 2 different offenses, 2 different supporting casts. Know what, if you love it, hate it, just know it. You can't be indecisive after this year. Putting in Andy Dalton and letting, Bryce Young marinate on the sideline a little bit just means this offseason you're going to have more questions than answers. You play, you play, you play. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. And that kind of leads us right into another Panthers conversation. It's time to update our Def Canales meter. Like DEF CON, but it's Def Canales. Oh, I get it. This is the song that Dave Canales sang to the team during training camp. Def Canales is like the DEF CON meter that you hear about. 1 is the highest degree of concern. 5 is the lowest degree of concern. A lot of people get that backwards. Where are we setting it right now? The Def Canales, the concern level with Dave Canales and the Carolina Panthers is at Def Canales 2. That is the second highest. If you're watching on YouTube, we have a cool graphic up here. I really like it. Shout out to Video Joe, one of our behind-the-scenes guys. Def Canales level 2. And you may say, like, why are you worried? I would actually say this. My gut instinct was to go to Def Canales 1. And I talked myself off of that ledge because it was his first game as a head coach. It was their first game as a staff. It was their first game with the new pieces. So it felt a little overkill to go to Def Canales 1. But it was that bad on Sunday. It was that bad on Sunday. And I'm at times, I'm a big context person. All of the yeah buts. At times I am, you got to call a spade, right? At times you got to look at it and the first thing you have to say is that was really, really bad. Because when you get up there and you do it's a learning experiment and it's a long journey and we did see some good things and Bryce was good pre-snap and, we got a lot of new guys in new positions and they're going to get better. Until you just like look down the camera lens and say this game was absolute trash, it feels like you might think we don't know it, right? So we all just watched that game. It was absolute trash. And until you say it, it feels like you're hiding from it. So I'll say it. Week 1 was absolute trash. The only reason we're not jumping all the way to Def Canales 1 is because it was your first game. And nobody should be judged that harshly on their first game. Dave Canales yesterday on turning focus to the next game. Or just more Bob Marley. I guess this would be the Whalers. Reggae Toy Piano.
Fortunately for me as the head coach of this team, I have to be concerned about the coaches and the players first and foremost and making sure we take the next step fundamentally. And hopefully everybody can understand the discipline that is required to be in the moment, to be present in this week. You know, the gift we have as of 30 minutes ago, that game's over with. And now we have to move on, and we got the Chargers coming in on Sunday. And so that discipline is huge, and it's a practice, and it's intentionality, and it's something that I have to be really, really strict about with our group is now let's take the next step. We are here. That was us yesterday. We are here today, and we're looking forward to this next challenge and this next opportunity to take the next step. So I have to be focused that way.
I knew this was going to happen. I didn't think it would happen this early. I knew this was going to happen. One of the very biggest questions about Dave Canales that I've had from the moment he took over is how does that ever optimist bully thing play when you get smacked in the mouth? I have to be honest, I feel a little unsatisfied by Dave Canales' comments post-game and in his first media availability of the week because I want anger. I want fire. And it doesn't have to be the cartoon version. He doesn't have to be at the podium with a red face and steam coming out of his ears. But, his mentor, Pete Carroll, I thought was really good at it. Pete Carroll always seemed happy, always seemed optimistic. But if you asked him a question about how they played after a bad game, he'd get short. He'd get, he would, you could just tell how much it was eating away at him.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Canales, it's like, you ever have that friend who you are venting about something and they just can't help but hit you with the so-and-so has it worse. Right?
Yes.
Gosh, my roof started leaking in the middle of the storm last night, and I had buckets out and didn't sleep all night because I heard the dripping, and then they hit you with like, well, at least you have a roof over your head. And you're like, I get it, man. I know there is a rational way to think of this, and my life is still pretty good. But last night, I'm going off 20 minutes of sleep here. Last night was awful, and I just want that to happen. You don't have to turn the page to what's next so quickly. Dave Canales seemed like, okay, I read this in a management book. First, adversity as a leader. Let me turn to page 17. I need to get the intentionality focused on the next game. And I'm going like, no, these are competitors. These are people that worked all offseason to get ready for week 1, and then you got your absolute teeth kicked in. I need you to get mad. Coach them hard.
I mean, that might be happening behind the scenes, but he's probably giving us the public face because he's like, if I come out here and start panicking and everyone's like, whoa, this is different, and it's just week 1, everyone's going to start sounding alarms.
Good point. And I think there's a difference between panic and it's a competitive fire, right? Like, I completely understand you don't want to be out there Chicken Little, right? You don't want to be out there, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. But at the same time, you can't be the most measured person in the room. You need to make definitive statements. It's not like, oh, I'm looking forward to the challenge of figuring this out. It's we need to be more physical. We got pushed around out there. That can't ever happen again. See, I don't think that's panicking. I think that's leadership. It's I don't know. Maybe I'm old school. Maybe this, and I've talked about this a lot. I have been feeling my sports opinions getting older and older over the last 2-3 years. Maybe I'm longing for the day where the coaches were more old school, hardo coaches, where you knew if you played a bad game and coach was asked about it in the paper, he wasn't going to say oh, it's great. I'm looking forward to how he tackles this challenge moving forward. It was going to be, no, the turnovers need to absolutely stop. That was unacceptable. Maybe that's me. Maybe the new brand of coaches are too player friendly.
Again, I think the hard coaching is going on behind the scenes, but we're just not seeing it. He doesn't have to say it publicly as long as the players get the message.
No,
what do you mean? How not no?
I'm saying let everybody else in on it. This is us getting behind you. You're an entertainment product. The fans have been as upset as you are with the players. The fans are as well. Right? We need to know that is being punished. We need to know that you are not complicit in whatever that week 1 was. You're excited for the opportunity to move forward and tackle the obstacle. I don't want to be excited about anything involved with week 1. I'm excited to hopefully have Derek Carr not dice us up in the future. Excited? Angry, furious, embarrassed? Starts with me. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Def Canales at number 2. DEFCON 2. DEFCON Nales, level 2. We'll update that as the season goes along. Before we move on and get to a feedback frenzy where we hear from many of you, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here from my good friends over at Law Tigers. This weather's fantastic. I can't wait to get back on the motorcycle. I'm actually thinking about going for a nice long motorcycle ride this evening. It's nice to hop on the bike, kind of clear the mind a little bit, enjoy some fresh air, but I also want to make sure before I get on the bike, I'm always prepared. Do I have the right gear on? Do I got the proper riding boots? Don't just want to ride out here in my sneakers, not because I want to scuff up the sneakers, but sneakers aren't going to provide me the protection that I need. So my helmet, everything all working in that. Do I have the proper armor and protection on my jacket, my pants, everything to make sure I go out there and be safe on the road? It's all about being prepared. And this is where Law Tigers, they're prepared for you in case you're injured in a motorcycle accident. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, call Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. The reason why I say Law Tigers is prepared, Law Tigers, they're riders too. They know what your bike is worth. They know what your gear is worth. They know what you're going through after an accident. They're prepared to help you if you're injured in a motorcycle accident. Maybe, for example, you got injured in a motorcycle accident a few months ago. Insurance company isn't doing what you need them to do. You can still contact Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Your case evaluation with them is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
We'll get to a feedback frenzy with many of your comments from all over the interwebs, and we will respond coming up next. Pack Therapy is in session thanks to First Horizon Bank. It's Tim Donnelly from 99.9 The Fan alongside legendary Wolfpack play caller Mike Lennon.
Every episode of Pack Therapy is your chance to get dialed in with inside information on your team.
We'll set you up for every Wolfpack game all season long.
And we'll break down every contest, what went right and what could have worked better.
Plus, special guests to keep Wolfpack hope alive.
Follow and subscribe to Pack Therapy wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
The new bonus edition Buck Scratch-Off's got a first-ever bonus game in the Outback.
You mean on the back, not Outback.
What's on the back?
The bonus game.
Then what's on the front?
Prizes up to $1 million.
I thought the game was called Bucks.
It is. Just forget it.
Crikey, mate. Don't go telling people to forget it. The whole point is for them to be remembering it.
The all-new bonus edition Buck Scratch-Offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 3.81 to 4.75. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey, what do you say? John Forsland here from my friends at Buffalo Brothers. I live and work on both coasts, travel the country, and there's nothing better than Buffalo Brothers. The best wings on the planet and half-price appetizers Monday through Friday, 4:30 to 6. Visit all 5 Triangle locations and ask for their great daily beer specials. And how about this special? Every Sunday, they have $6 Bloody Marys and $6.50 Jamesons. Dine in, carry out. BuffBrothers.com. Aw, man, now I want wings.
We want to invite you to Atlantic Spas and Billiards to bring more relaxation, wellness, and fun to your home. Sit in a hot tub from Hot Spring or Caldera, relax in a hot sauna from Finleo, or swim in our showroom in our endless pool. We have a fully stocked game room showroom with darts, ping pong, foosball, air hockey, pool tables, and more. Everything we sell for your home, from hot tubs to grills, from saunas to pool tables, promotes relaxation, wellness, and fun. Atlantic Spas and Billiards on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh and Market Street in Wilmington, AtlanticSBNC.com.
This September, Diamonds Direct's ultimate offer is back, stronger than ever. Diamonds Direct helps you get the perfect jewelry gift with 0% interest. That's right, enjoy 5 years of 0% financing on any Diamonds Direct purchase. It's your chance to get her the perfect ring with 0 interest and comfortable monthly payments that fit your budget. But act fast. This offer ends September 30th. For details and more, visit DiamondsDirect.com. Spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest on approved credit. Only at Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion.
Hey friends, Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. NFL Week 2 is here, and you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. If you're new to FanDuel, you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Think about this single game parlay. Bills at Dolphins, Dalton Kincaid, anytime touchdown, Josh Allen, 300-plus passing yards, Tyreek Hill, 100-plus receiving yards. Just suggestions. Just visit FanDuel.com/Paul, Paul with a capital P, and make every moment more this season. FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Train heating and cooling systems are engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for a feedback frenzy. We work very hard putting up quite a bit of content on our YouTube page, 99.9 The Fan. We encourage you all to subscribe and, as I say often, encourage you to be a part of that community. Jump into the comments. Go back and forth. We read quite a bit of them, and to prove it, we have a segment called Feedback Frenzy that we break out every once in a while where Dennis looks through all the comments, picks the ones that can elicit the best conversation, and we respond. So, Dennis, who were we hearing from today?
All right, we had a conversation yesterday about NC State, and then kind of they're trying to find their identity a little bit on offense. This one comes from Poe Man.
All right, what's up, Poe?
143 total yards of offense. I think that had a lot to do with it in terms of not finding an identity. Or reason why they lost. I think that had a lot to do with it.
Chicken or the egg? Did they have 143 yards because they didn't have an identity? Or do they not have an identity because they only gained 143 yards? I also give credit to Tennessee, and you got to do that, tip your hat. But I think it's both, right? Tennessee was very good, and NC State shot themselves in the foot a bit. It just felt labored. It felt difficult. Every completion was a tough catch. Every first down felt like they got it by an inch on third down. It was very difficult. And in those situations, you need something to fall back on, right? It's the Tin Cup theory. I like to name my theories. Anyone that's ever watched the movie Tin Cup with Kevin Costner, you know he hits the 7-iron as well as anybody. So when he's in a bad round, what does he go to? All right, let me break out the 7-iron. We all have that club, right? I hit the 8-iron, great. Just going to grab the 8-iron, put a nice swing on it, see a nice arc. All right, now I'm back. NC State needs to find out their 7-iron. Right? What did they do when everything else is falling apart? And maybe they would have more than 143 yards of total offense.
Same video. This one comes from Dave Ratledge. Dave says, Tennessee, awesome team. NC State can still figure it out and compete for the ACC championship. Or they can give up. I hope not. His words.
And I do this too, right? Sometimes you write down, you comment a sentence or you say a sentence, and you don't realize how much hard work just a couple of words in that sentence are. So go ahead and read it. Can you read it for me one more time?
Oh, sure. It's let me actually
it was from
go
Dave
right back to
Ratledge, I believe.
Dave Ratledge. He said, Tennessee, awesome team.
Yep.
NC State can still figure it out and compete.
Stop there. NC State can still figure it out.
Yeah.
Figure it out is doing a lot of heavy lifting right there.
Mm-hmm.
That they still can figure it out. I mean, that's somebody that runs a 10-100 going, I can still cut 0.4 of a second off my 100-yard dash and win the Olympics. It's like, well, yeah, cutting 0.4 of a 100 is 0.4 of a second off your 100 is a bananas amount of work.
Oh, yeah.
They still could figure it out. But that's not like an assumed thing. It's not like, oh, well, they'll just choose to figure it out and be better going into week 3. It's going to take a lot of work. It's going to take a lot of coaching. It's going to take a lot of buy-in. They could very well still figure it out and compete for the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
But figure it out right there, I mean, that's 3 words that are very, very – I mean, it's yada, yada, yada from the Seinfeld days, right? You can't yada, yada, yada over the best part. It's like I mentioned the bisque. You figure it out there was covering quite a lot of ground. But it could happen, yes. It's just not going to be easy.
All right, this one comes from Ron. We actually had a conversation yesterday with our podium where UNC was 2. Ron says UNC defense is better this year.
Okay.
If young Conner Harrell, that is, keeps getting better, 8 or 9 wins is possible. And I get it. They have a favorable schedule.
You know what? Completely fair.
Yeah. Totally fair. We just talked during Copper Drop.
Yeah.
They could be 5-0 going into October.
5-0 going into October where you get Pitt. They'll be favored in that one, I would assume. Pitt at home. So 6-0 possibly going into Georgia Tech. But I will say, lesson learned last year, you can be 6-0 and still not live up to the expectations or the pomp and circumstance that would come along with that. But no, if you're 5 or 6-0, 8 or 9 wins definitely within the realm of possibility. Especially you still have Virginia, you still have Wake Forest. You always throw out records for the NC State game at the end of the year. There's a Boston College game on the road. Like there's winnable games. You can absolutely now we're just we're arguing in agreement here. I'm with you. It was a well said comment.
You know, that's where you say spot on.
Yeah,
spot on.
Like it. Give him a little thumbs up.
We had a conversation yesterday about Bryce Young looking terrible. By the way, this video had over 200 comments and people still commenting. Pretty wild.
Like I said, the community is growing. Be a part of it. 99.9 The Fan on YouTube.
We had on Panthers Playbook like over 600. People were upset, including Darius, who not on Panthers Playbook, put on our video yesterday about Bryce Young. The Cam Newton curse is real. Carolina did Cam Newton super dirty, and they have had to pay for it ever since. There's a lot of people that feel that way, by the way.
All right,
He's not the only person who said that because they did Cam wrong. This is the karma for that.
Let's go to the next step. How do we break curses? Right? What do we have to do here?
Sage is
that
Sage?
Okay,
yeah.
So we can do that. A little Kyrie Irving walking around.
Yep.
Where was it? The Boston Garden.
Mm-hmm.
Is Kalen Newton on someone's practice squad somewhere? I believe Cam Newton's little brother played for William and Mary.
Okay.
Is he out there still chasing the dream in the CFL or something?
Maybe.
Can you assign him and kind of get back in the good graces? Could you bring Cam back as some kind of, like, I don't know, do a live podcast on the Jumbotron or something? How can you solve it? If you're somebody that believes there's a Cam Newton curse, give me the roadmap. We'll ask. We'll get somebody. We'll get somebody from the Panthers. We'll ask. Right? Let's be solution oriented, not just problem oriented. How do we? I don't want it to be the curse of the Bambino where it lasts for like 80-something years. Let's nip it in the bud if we can here and stop it before it hits a decade.
All right. Earlier we had a conversation about during Copper Drop, is Bryce going to get benched this year? This one comes from Tom. Because we made the joke of, hey, you know what? You can play Bryce Young and still get a top 5 pick next year the way things are going. But Tom said you can play Plummer, Jack Plummer that is, and still have a top 10 or top 5 pick next year, meaning you can get either Cam Ward or Carson Beck. Someone actually did also chime in and say, this one comes from 512 Metro, need to bench Bryce to see if Canales is actually any good.
Well, the thing is, Canales has at least, you better hope, has at least 2 or 3 years, because you can't change coaches every year. So this year, Canales' job is to find out what they have in Bryce.
Mm-hmm.
That is his priority number one. That decision is going to be the one that defines his coaching tenure. This offseason, you're going to have to make a choice. Gather all the information you can. The only way I would say play Jack Plummer is if you think Jack Plummer gives you a better chance to win, and you think Jack Plummer has the better chance of becoming an NFL starter. I still think Bryce Young is probably the one with the higher ceiling. As bad as week 1 looked, I'm not jumping to that kind of conclusion. So you play Bryce. You play Bryce. And then this offseason, how Dave Canales handles everything is how you will judge his viability as a head coach.
It's on Dan Morgan, too.
It is.
Figure it out, man.
It is on Dan Morgan, too.
Figure it out.
The alignment. Those
Right
two
here.
guys. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9. The Fan, that is a feedback frenzy. Do that occasionally, so you never know. Whatever you comment on our YouTube pages might end up right here live on air. Right here live on air right now is Dennis Cox.
Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Great news for you homeowners out there. Mortgage rates are tanking. My friends at Loan Pronto have rates that start with a 4. This is the best rate in years, folks. And listen, if your current rate, if it's over 6%, you go ahead and dump it. Lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto has locked in folks recently at 4.99% APR. Whether you got your loan last week, last month, or even last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in process with another lender, stop now and call Loan Pronto and ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. So call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in a matter of minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 919-381-1760 or loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781 on approved credit. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9. The Fan has the starting five coming up next. And Christian McCaffrey, stop me if you've heard this before, Carolina, hurt and did not play last night. Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
The question begging an answer for the year 2 QBs in the NFL, how are these guys going to make the playmakers around them better? These first couple of games will give us an idea if the reprogramming of Bryce Young and the rehabbing of Indy's Anthony Richardson were successful. And if not, it's not good news. We'll be seeing exit hooks out sooner than later.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Is your heating and air system ready for cooler weather? Call Newcomb & Company today to schedule a routine maintenance and ensure your system is operating at peak performance. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs for HVAC and plumbing work. Newcomb & Company has served the area as a Carrier Factory authorized dealer for more than 3 generations. Turn to the experts today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company and Carrier. Your comfort is our business.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season. And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
Guys, Marcy Bailey here from Bailey's Fine Jewelry with some diamond advice. Buying an engagement ring doesn't have to be so complicated. We've been doing this since 1948, and we know what women want. A combination of size and quality. And a little hint here, size wins big. We guarantee you can be in and out in under an hour, and she'll love the ring or your money back. It's that easy. Come see why we're voted the best place to buy a diamond. And remember, every woman wants a Bailey box.
Hey, Shelley, I found more signs for the Walk for Hope.
Man, how's that possible? We've already put out thousands of signs.
Let's get her done, and maybe you won't leave me behind this time.
Just think, more families can join us for the Walk, Run, In Festival with food, music by Liquid Pleasure, and lots more. All at the Angus Barn on Sunday, October 13th to raise funds for mental illness research.
Don't forget, just like the sign says, go to walkforhope.com to sign up now.
I'm ready for more NFL. What about you? And FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, is continuing this special offer to keep us watching more. Now through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. And then, with a YouTube TV-based plan, you'll be able to watch every regular season Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account, a current form of payment, and you can cancel at any time. You are ready to go. Just visit FanDuel.com/AdamGold and download America's #1 sportsbook, FanDuel.com/AdamGold. Do it now. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after free trial. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, North Carolina's injury lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. Bright sunshine, warm temperatures, but low humidity. Tonight, the clouds increase. This is all coming from Francine. 57 the low. Partly cloudy for your Wednesday. It's upper-level clouds. The high temperature comfortable 83.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is down 92 points today to 40,736. Market update brought to you by Copa Airlines. Fly Copa Airlines from RDU to Latin America and get 2 vacations in one. Enjoy a stopover in Panama for up to 7 days with no extra airfare. Book your Panama stopover today at copa.com, COPA.com. This hour of the drive brought to you by Zero Res. Kick football season off with a deal this month from Zero Res. 3 rooms of carpets clean starting at $119 and 25% off your air duct cleaning. ZeroResRaleigh.com. Again, ZeroResRaleigh.com.
It's 5 o'clock. Time. The biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting 5, and as always, we start with number 5. Here is the bummer of today. First day since last Thursday, we don't have like big football games to watch. We had Thursday night football. We had NFL football on Friday and high school football in the area. We had Saturday all day college. We had Sunday NFL football. We had Monday night football. We got to get through today and tomorrow before we even get back to Thursday night football. Obviously only joking a little bit. But last night we had Monday night football. Christian McCaffrey did not play. The calf Achilles injury held him out. Here's the real kicker.
What?
Niners win anyway.
Go figure. Oh, because their team is stacked?
Their team is stacked. Jordan Mason ran for 140-something yards in relief of Christian McCaffrey. After the game, there was a little snafu on what he said on when he learned he was going to start. But he also said, I told CMC, I don't know how he does it. Bell cow back, right? Just the workload that he had, he was exhausted. And you could tell at times in the game he was taking an extra minute laying on the ground after getting tackled before standing up. I look at it like this. This is why the Niners are in a different position with Christian McCaffrey than where the Panthers were or darn near 3/4 of the rosters in the NFL would be. You can only pay someone like Christian McCaffrey when you can realistically treat it the appropriate way, right? Because there's a lot of, oh my gosh, how did the Panthers trade him away? Why do they always trade away their best players? And I get it and I hear it, and heck, sometimes I participate in it. But the right thing to do for Christian McCaffrey in this case is to sit him out and probably sit him out a handful of games, right? You're dealing with a calf, strain, whatever the Achilles tendonitis, whatever it is. You want to be able to give him all of the time in the world to get better so when the games mean more at the end of the season, he's there. The Panthers would be like, listen, you're our number 1 running back, our number 1 wide receiver. You're our number 1 decoy. You're our number 1 everything. We can't survive without you. So can you give us 20 snaps? Like they're not in a place to treat a running back the way you need to protect the longevity of a running back's career. I'm against paying running backs. Have been for a while. I just think you can find replacements on the cheap and you can spend your money elsewhere on more worthy positions. But if you're going to spend on a running back, I think it only makes even a little bit of sense if you have a roster like the Niners where if they get hurt in the regular season, you go, yeah, it's cool. Now we'll just move Debo into the backfield for about 10 plays. We'll get Jordan Mason running behind Trent Williams for a couple of plays. We'll let Purdy manage the game. Kittle will open up some holes. Like we'll be fine. We're going to need, don't get me wrong, they need Christian McCaffrey in the playoffs.
That's the key. You said the key thing right there.
Which
in the playoffs.
Exactly. Same thing with like the Giants moving on from Saquon, and Saquon has a big game with the Eagles. Oh my gosh, how did they move on? I'm going, yeah, they probably right now wish they didn't. But the Eagles are going to be able to handle Saquon Barkley better than the Eagles would have. Because about week 3, the Eagles would go, listen, we can't trust Danny Dimes. as far as we can throw them. So you're playing every snap, you're getting the ball every play, and that's not good for the longevity of a running back. Eagles, meanwhile, will go, hey, you know what? Big games, we'll use you. If not, Jalen Hurts can take some of the short yardage runs. We can always pepper Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown with targets, that Dallas Goedert. Like, they've got enough.
I always thought the team that did it best was the Carolina Panthers when they had Jonathan Stewart and D'Angelo Williams. It's a 1-2 punch, and those guys were together for like 8 years.
If you can find,
awesome.
If you can find two of them, that's the beauty. Because actually, I'll use Mac Brown as an example.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, we talked with him at ACC kickoff with Mac Brown, the head coach of UNC, about last season's kind of breakdown and what is too many carries for Omarion Hampton. And he goes, when you have one guy that you think can break it for 80 and no one else can, you just kind of keep giving it to the guy who you think can break it for 80. And I get that. I 100% as a play caller, I would 100% be like, why we keep putting in the backups? And it's like, well, we have to worry about year 4 on his contract. We want to make sure he's still good. If you have Stewart and Williams, then it's like, all right, put one guy who we think can break it for a big gain, or put the other guy in who we think we can break it for a big gain, and you get to keep them both fresh. If you can do that, go right ahead. I don't think you can spend first-round picks on 2 guys, but if you can find 2 guys, one through unusual circumstances and one more traditional, I'm all for it. As number 5, let's jump to number 2.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Jump
all
to number
together.
2.
Did I say the wrong
jump
number?
to number 2.
I always do that.
We can do number 2.
We count down in reverse. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the second one we do is 4. You see how I got confused.
Should we go back to 5?
Let's jump to number 4.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, all together.
College football AP Top 25 updated for this week. North Carolina State not in it, not even receiving a vote. They started at, number 22, bumped down to number 24 after the Western Carolina win, after the Tennessee loss, completely gone. If you watch the Tennessee game, I don't think you need a ton of explanation.
Explains itself.
Yeah. Picture is worth 1,000 words. The game footage is worth 15 million. UNC, though, gained 3 more votes. They went from 4 votes in the also receiving votes category.
That's right.
To 7 in the also receiving votes category. Moving on up. Boston College up to number 24. They smoked Duquesne after getting the win over Florida State the week before. Clemson back up to number 22. So they didn't fall all the way out of the top 25 with the loss to Georgia, and now they're climbing back up after smoking App State. Louisville, when it comes to the ACC, up into the top 20 at number 19.
Big game with Georgia Tech this weekend.
Big game with Georgia Tech this weekend. Would have been nice if Georgia Tech won there.
Beat Syracuse, but Syracuse got a bunch of votes. So, they're also receiving votes.
The ACC is in a really weird spot, and I think by the way, Miami is number 10. So they're into the top 10. They would be the team. If it ended right now and these were the college football playoff rankings, they would be the only team representing the ACC in a college football playoff. The ACC is in a really weird spot in that the teams that are kind of rising are not teams I have a ton of confidence in. Maybe outside of Clemson, who's up to 22. But Miami, there's something about them. Maybe I'm conditioned over the last 10 years where I'm conditioned to, as soon as you believe in Miami, the wheels fall off. A school like Louisville, I just don't know if we've seen them, and I understand new coach with Brom, and he's got things cooking, and he's playing the transfer portal well. I don't know if I trust them to be like a national contender. And back in the day where it's like, hey, could they make a run in their division in the ACC? It was, yeah, Louisville's right there. But when you start getting into the top 15, top 10, where you need to be a college football playoff contender, I just don't know if I'm there. Boston College in the top 25. I really like Castellanos, their quarterback. He kind of is like Kyler Murray light. There's something about those shorter quarterbacks that run where it just feels like they take 12 steps to get 10 yards, but they're moving fast enough that they're still outrunning people. It's like almost a cartoon run. I like Boston College, but if you were asking me to bet on if they'd finish above or below where they are right now, I think I know where I'm going with that. And it's not the good one for Boston College. Syracuse, I'm intrigued. They're in the also receiving votes category. I'm intrigued. Kyle McCord feels like he's gotten as we talked about earlier, a healthy amount of like let's let it rip that we didn't see during his time at Ohio State that we're seeing it at Syracuse. I don't know. I'm used to having 2 or 3 teams that I am very confident in the ACC. They're not. It's not like the ACC is in a wholly different spot than they've been in years past. They just don't have the confidence inducing.
By the way, massive ACC game this weekend. Stanford at Syracuse. That's actually on Friday. But actually, the big game for the conference: Boston College on the road at Missouri. Missouri up at 6. Imagine Boston College pulls off that upset this coming weekend. Imagine Boston College at number 20, whatever in the country.
Knocks off number 6, Missouri.
From 24, knocks off number 6, SEC powerhouse Missouri on the road. Yo. ACC clout.
From your lips to the football god's ears, like I'm with it.
Let's go.
Mizzou's good. Like I don't want to sugarcoat it. And
I know.
They have some NFL guys who haven't even really got going. I was wondering if Luther Burden, their wide receiver, was hurt because he only had 3 catches this past week. He's a guy that many expect to be a top half of the first-round pick. But turns out they just beat Buffalo 38-0 and maybe didn't need him. That's a big one for Boston College. If that's a might be able to do a lot of good for you, Boston College. That's what number were we doing? 4, 3, 2, 1. That was number 4. Let's get to number 3.
There we go.
All right, give us the latest on this one, Dennis. At PNC Arena, am I saying that wrong?
Well, you are now. You are now.
The obviously the home arena of the Carolina Hurricanes. NC State plays their men's basketball there.
And so many concerts.
I was just going to say a bunch of concerts come through. The arena formerly known as PNC Arena. What's the latest? Give us the deets.
So it looks like it's now going to be called the Lenovo Center. So PNC right now going through their naming rights. It's interesting because the club levels of PNC had their name changed. We saw the Hurricanes actually announce this yesterday where it's like the PNC club level as just so a slight name change. So PNC still going to see a presence inside the arena. But apparently, this is the rumor out there that it's going to be called PNC Arena. It's not going to be PNC Arena anymore. It's going to be the Lenovo Center. Lenovo, computers and laptops and all that. You know how it kind of got leaked out that might be the name?
How was that?
EA Sports NHL 25, the video game.
The video game already had Lenovo Center?
Yes. The video game has it as Lenovo Center. Whereas opposed to, like, for example, like if you play a sports video game, they announce the name of the stadium, right? Or the arena that you're playing in.
Welcome to the next game between the Carolina Hurricanes and the Columbus Blue Jackets here at the Lenovo Center. Like they do that little, highlight, and you're just sitting there smashing X, like, click through, let's play, let's get to puck drop.
So, yes, a trailer video for EA Sports NHL 25 video game offers a hint Lenovo Center.
Interesting.
Which is kind of wild.
It is, and it makes you wonder, like, why not Lenovo Arena? Like, I'm sure they did a bunch of studies on it. That kind of stuff always baffles me. It's going to take a while. I still call the Staples Center the Staples Center. It's whatever crypto.com. Crypto Arena. It takes me. Heinz Field is still Heinz Field to me.
Acrisure.
There's a lot of those. I don't know. I've been saying PNC Arena a lot, and I'm sure Lenovo will get on us if it becomes the Lenovo Center to change that up. But no promises.
Brian Murphy on WREL Sports Fan. He's a sports investigative reporter for WREL. Has an article written up on WREL Sports Fan. You should definitely check out for sure. But it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, oh, interesting. So PNC Bank will sponsor the arena's PNC Victory Club, formerly known as the Champions Club, and the PNC Club level. So that's something the Hurricanes actually announced on Monday. That was yesterday. And PNC had extended its naming rights to cover both the 2022-23 season and last year 23-24. So that's kind of all part of the deal. So yeah, the PNC stuff, and
they took the sign down.
They've taken the signs down. So
crazy. End of an era.
Maybe at 5:45 we should come up with nicknames now for the Lenovo Center.
The Lenovo. Yeah, because that's maybe it'll grow on me. But that's just Lenovo Center is hard to say.
We'll get used to it.
For the opening game, for the opening home game, we expect to be outside on the plaza, outside the Lenovo Center.
This outside of Lenovo.
We'll work on it. We'll work something. Maybe we'll come back to it.
Yep.
As number 3, let's jump to number 2.
Just the two of us.
The Panthers had a whole bunch of transactions today.
Yep.
Including putting Derek Brown, who I consider their best defensive player, 100-plus tackles last year from an interior defensive line position, which is bonkers.
NFL record.
They put him on season-ending IR today. Knee injury. It's a meniscus. It's going to require surgery. Shut it down, big fellow. We'll see you at the beginning of next year. First of all, gut punch, right? It's you want, after week 1, to be able to point to that guy and say, this is the one we're going to follow as we drag ourselves out of this hole that is the week 1 loss to the New Orleans Saints. And instead, it's like, hopefully he can still give advice while he walks around with a limp for a little bit as he gets better after his knee surgery. It's a gut punch for the Carolina Panthers. On top of that, that is outside your control. Okay, let's call it what it is. Injuries happen every single year. No team is going to be impervious to injuries. Your fingers are crossed that the players who are like cornerstones of your franchise escape without injuries, and that the injuries your team suffer are at positions where you have depth. That's like the good luck that you could have. You don't even hope for no injuries because it's impossible. It's unrealistic. The thing you can't control, though, is the rest of the defensive line. And the Panthers – actually, I'll ask you this, Dennis. By the way, you can check out the Panthers Playbook podcast from after the game. Dennis co-hosts with Chris Lee. Does it feel over-tinkering with the edge rushers? It seems like every week the Panthers are claiming guys, cutting guys, signing guys, bringing them in, bringing them out. Does it feel like over-tinkering to you?
No, I don't think so. I mean, Dave Canales openly said going into game number 1 that they'll try and find anything and everything. I think what they found is a lot of, okay, that's not the right answer. Let's try the other door. Okay, that's not the right answer. Let's try the other door. I mean, that's just what it's going to be.
Is it, I guess here.
Until DJ Wanham gets healthy.
And even once DJ Wanham gets healthy, you still, you can't play with 3 defensive edge rushers. You need 4 or 5. They get tired. You have to rotate them in. Here's what, the over-tinkering, maybe that's the wrong way to put it, but it's like you bring a guy in, you did it for a reason. There was something you liked on film. There was somebody who gave you a recommendation. There was a scout that said, yep, he's good. And then you bring him in and immediately you're like, never mind. I get cut and bait, and I'm right for, don't let a mistake linger, right? The first thing you do once you realize you make a mistake is stop digging the hole, right? Stop making the mistake. So if you bring in a guy and it's obvious he's not going to help you, move on from him. It just seems like they're making a lot of decisions to bring guys in who they immediately go, never mind. It's like, well, reevaluate your process for who you're choosing to bring in if all of them are within a week showing you that they're not good enough to stick around. So over-tinkering might have been the wrong word, but maybe there's a symptom here that is the cause is something that's a little bit more serious.
I think it's a byproduct of they thought DJ Wanham was going to be healthy, and now they're just trying to
they thought
supplement and fill it out.
Chason would still be on the roster.
Yeah, K'Lavon Chason didn't work out. Hey, let's buy a scratcher ticket on this guy as a backup rotational player, and then
they're
DJ Wanham.
They're now the buddy that every time you go to the gas station, they're buying a scratcher. It's not like an occasional
chase your losses.
It's not like hey, this will be fun, or hey, we got family in town. Let's all get scratch-off tickets. It's like, I want 20 on pump 2 and 4 of the scratchers.
Yeah, 4 on that number 7, the $5 one. Thank you.
All of them, please. Thank you. Every time you get gas. As number 2, let's jump to number 1. All right, there was a weekend that took place this past weekend, and I say that because a lot of things happened. Good, bad, indifferent, ugly, uglier, ugliest. Like there was a lot that took place in the football world, and at times it feels like a blur. With a day, right? And obviously yesterday, Monday Night Football took place and kind of wrapped everything up. With a little bit of time, did any of your opinions change about the games you watched? Did anything go, it wasn't that bad? I think that happens a lot in particularly football games, because football can pivot on just a few plays in so many ways. You could lose by 21 and you look back and you're like, I'm pretty sure if the ref spots that ball differently in the first quarter, we would have been in the game at the end. And it's like, really? And you can kind of, get your anger out, and then when you're trying to learn from it, realize, the game of inches just didn't go your way. I think if you look at something like the Carolina UNC Charlotte game, I think Carolina could have won by more if you watched it. If you watched that game and you didn't have the scoreboard, I think you might even think they won by more. Right? If you just watched and maybe you were casually watching, so you're not keeping track of score in front of you, by then you would have been like, oh, yeah, they won by 24, but ended up being less than that. Oh, they won by 28. It ended up being less than that. On the flip side, I think both the NC State and the Carolina Panthers game could have, and I know they lost by a bundle. Was it 41-37, something like that? I think it could have been more. I think if you watched that game, they were thoroughly dominated, both of them. And that's not to sit like I'm not piling on here. I'm saying even with kind of a more sober, more relaxed view of it. And by the way, I did rewatch most of the Panthers Saints game this morning. There is like the understanding that you look around and go, no, that was as bad as it felt. We really have to have some tough conversations. That wasn't us overreacting. There are some things we need to change. And by the way, that's only when I'm talking about, like for NC State, like all these tough conversations. That's if you want to compete with Tennessee. I still think NC State will win a majority of their ACC games. I still think they are a talented team above the mean or above the average in all of college football. But the expectation coming into this year was that they'd be competing for something higher than they've been competing for in the past. And if you want to do that, some tough conversations have to happen. Some strategic elements might have to change. And the same is true for the Panthers. I was of the belief that a 6-win season would be glorious for the Carolina Panthers. Right, I've said it from the very beginning. Set expectations in a reasonable place. If your expectation was above 500, I was darn near guaranteeing you were going to be sad when the season was over. You watch that game against New Orleans, and New Orleans is not a world beater at all. You need to have some hard conversations before you get to the more difficult teams on your roster, and that's coming from, you've slept on it twice now. You've let it sink in. Duke is, just to give you a kind of after a few days look at Duke, I stand by what we said. It's gritty. It ain't pretty.
Nope. Far from it.
I think you can be proud of that, but I think film on Monday and Tuesday is not fun for the players. You celebrate the win, and then you're like, here's the list of things we did that we need to get better at. You got the win. Congratulations. Now buckle up. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You can call it whatever you want, right? You can call it a touchdown. You can call it a tutty. You can call it a TD. You can call it a tug. You can call it a taking it to the house. You can call it a house call. You can call it whatever you want, but just know that whatever you call them, they matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. If you're ready to place your first NFL bet, maybe keep it simple and just pick a player to score a touchdown. If you're looking at the game coming up this Thursday, Miami-Buffalo, how about this? James Cook, plus 150 to score a touchdown. Or there's already some talk about maybe some injuries that could potentially hold back maybe a Mostert or an Achane. Next up might be Jeff Wilson Jr., plus 185. Jalen Wright, if he's active, plus 210. These are the players that you might choose. And if you want another Bill, how about Keon Coleman, the rookie, at plus 230? Just throwing some names out there for you. If you're interested, right, make your pick, and then get ready to do a touchdown dance of your own. You want to be prepared. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 place to bet touchdowns. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and here's another thing for the newbies out there. If at sign-up you use code TIMD, so when you're creating your DraftKings Sportsbook account, use code TIMD at sign-up, and those new customers will get $250 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 and get 1 month of NFL Plus Premium. Again, that's TIMD, TIMD with no spaces. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 877-185-543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus, North Carolina only. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ftball. NFL Plus Premium offer available only to new and former NFL Plus subscribers. Additional NFL Plus Premium terms at nfl.com/terms. We also need some numbers game contestants, and we actually have a different prize on the line than we had yesterday. We have a pair of tickets to see Stained and Breaking Benjamin with Daughtry at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on Saturday, September 21st. I've mentioned a few times that my mom's a big American Idol fan. Daughtry, so when we watched in my house, when you got to the top 24, everybody picked one, and there was like a survivor pool almost. You saw which one would go the furthest. Daughtry was my guy. He didn't win, but he was still my guy. Call 919-860-5326 for your chance to win the numbers game and a pair of tickets to the show I just mentioned. Again, the number to call in, 919-860-5326. We need 2 contestants for the numbers game coming up next.
We're kicking it this fall with college football. Join 99.9 The Fan all season long and catch your favorite teams in action. The ACC, the SEC, and every conference that matters. You'll find the best matchups here.
Carolina wins it 47-45 in double overtime.
College football on 99.9 The Fan is brought to you by Wake Men, Sammy's Tap and Grill, and Roofworks.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Lenny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me, and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union are proud to announce the return of the Coastal Credit Union Scholar Athlete of the Month. For more than 20 years, we have honored over 200 student athletes that are making a difference on their team and in their community. If you are a teacher, parent, coach, or guardian, nominate your Scholar Athlete today. We will select one winner a month to be featured on 99.9 The Fan and on WRAL News Plus. To nominate a winner, text AWARD to 919-860-5326. That's AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Congrats to last year's winners. Emma Penkunas of Holly Springs High School, Connor O'Toole of Athens Drive, Kenzie Smith of Fuquay Verena, Patience Ifadon of South Garner High, Carrie Ellen Bryan of Southern Lee, Carson Parker, Apex Friendship, Jason Howard of Wakefield High School, and Eric Stoll of Green Level. We also want to thank all of our other local schools who nominated a student: Apex Friendship, Jordan Matthews, Northwood, Green Hope High, Willow Springs, Jacksonville High, South Granville, Cleveland High, Riverside, and South Johnston.
This is Creighton Blackwell with Coastal Credit Union, and I would like to offer my sincerest thanks to every school that nominated a student for this year's award. This award is more than a celebration of exceptional athletes. It's also a celebration of the schools and the communities that help them grow into the incredible leaders that we like to celebrate.
Congratulations to all of our Coastal Credit Union Scholar Athletes of the Month. If you want to nominate a high school athlete, text award to 919-860-5326.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. We have Matthew in Raleigh and Adam in Raleigh on the line, getting ready to compete for a pair of tickets to see Stained and Breaking Benjamin with Daughtry at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on Saturday, September 21st. There is a new bit of, I guess that'd be a weird way to say it. There's a bit of news out there that PNC Arena, as many of you know it, is no longer PNC Arena, and potentially could be the Lenovo Center based on a leak in a video game. So we always ask a question here to see who gets to go first, and we pick our favorite answer. Dennis, the producer, is our judge. Matthew and Raleigh, if you could pick any company, business, brand to be the naming rights holder of the arena here in Raleigh, what brand, business, company would you choose to be the blank blank center or the blank arena?
I'd have to say Cookout.
Cookout, are we going Cookout Arena, Cookout Center, Cookout Complex? What are we going?
Ooh, yeah, Cookout Arena, probably.
All right, Cookout Arena. Very solid answer. That's from Matthew and Raleigh. We'll go to Adam and Raleigh. Adam, same question to you. What company, brand, or business do you think would be the perfect naming rights partner for the sports complex in Raleigh?
That is a heck of a question. I think I'm going to have to go with Wendy's. And I hate to go there because you just went Cookout, but I think Wendy's with the 4 for 4, you can't beat that.
All right. Sounds like somebody that works in Wendy's marketing. Dennis, go ahead and choose. Which one do you want?
Both great choices, but Cookout is local.
Yep,
Cookout's the local. Like, hey, yo, let's go to a Cookout and watch the game.
And on the concourse, little Cookout.
Oh, Cookout everywhere. Yeah. Yes,
I'm about it.
Like, are you kidding me? Selling trays?
Oh yeah,
like everywhere. Need that to happen.
I like it. Hat trick, free number 3s. Free 3-piece. Matthew and Raleigh, you get to go first, but don't worry, Adam, you'll have your chance. Just go ahead and wait on the line. Matthew, are you there?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and pick out of these categories. NFL players born in New York, NFL players born in Pennsylvania, NBA current players only, or NHL Canes and Whalers only?
NHL Canes and Whalers.
All right. The way this works is I will give you the player and the team. I will say the team, even though we know the team in this category, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. You have 30 seconds. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. One pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. Then your time will start when you hear the horn. Yes, Barry Kokaniemi, Carolina Hurricanes.
82.
Correct. Sebastian Aho, Carolina Hurricanes.
20.
Correct. Sandis Ozelins, Carolina Hurricanes.
Ooh, pass.
Kevin Weeks, Carolina Hurricanes.
54.
Incorrect. Sandis Ozelins, Carolina Hurricanes.
Pass.
Yeah, you already did. I should have gone that. Radik Dvorak,
okay,
Carolina Hurricanes.
18.
Correct. Sandis Ozelins, Carolina Hurricanes.
54. I don't know.
Number 8. Ozelins was number 8. Kevin Weeks were number 80. So you needed to be with 8s and 0s. That's what we were looking for. But you did get 3. You got KK with 82. You got Aho with 20, and you got Dvorak with number 18. Solid showing. We'll see if it holds up. So hang on the line. All right.
All right. Thanks.
Gosh, I jinxed myself. Yesterday I said, I'm not going to mess up. I do my best for everybody. And then, of course, he skipped. I handled it wrong. But I think we gave him plenty of chances. That brings us to Adam and Raleigh. Adam, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players born in New York, NFL players that were born in Pennsylvania, and NBA current players only.
Let's do NFL born in Pennsylvania.
All right. Same rules apply. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as fast as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. You need 4 for the win. Any questions before we jump in?
Nope.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. DJ Moore, Chicago Bears.
0.
Incorrect. Rashee Rice, Kansas City Chiefs.
4.
Correct. Matt Ryan, Atlanta Falcons.
2.
Correct. Miles Sanders, Carolina Panthers.
He's 0.
Incorrect. DJ Moore, Chicago Bears.
2.
Correct. Charlie Batch, Pittsburgh Steelers.
Okay.
Miles Sanders, Carolina Panthers.
26.
Incorrect. Charlie Batch, Pittsburgh Steelers.
I don't even know who that is. 13.
Incorrect. Miles Sanders, Carolina Panthers.
Oh.
You did great. Unfortunately, a tie goes to whoever goes first. But if you call in and do it again, I'm giving you advice that you didn't ask for. If you don't know who it is, throw a number out. That's the fastest way to get back to which would have been Miles Sanders.
Okay.
Miles Sanders with the Panthers wears number 6. 26 was his number with the Philadelphia Eagles. And Charlie Batch is a journeyman quarterback. He started a little, he backed up a lot. He wore number 16 with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Cool.
Fan favorite everywhere he went. Appreciate the call, and thank you for playing. But Matthew and Raleigh is the winner. Matthew, congratulations.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
You get the tickets to see Stained and Breaking Benjamin with Daughtry, Coastal Credit Union Music Park on Saturday, September 21st. So go ahead and enjoy the show.
Great. Thank you.
All right. Hang on the line. Dennis has some info he needs to get from you, but you're going to see Stained and Breaking Benjamin.
By the way, my buddy Sean, who works for Lenovo, said the Lenovo Center.
Oh, they're Ohio Stating us?
Lenovo Center.
They're the Ohio State University. They're hitting us with
and he's a Penn State guy, too.
Ooh.
So
it's not
Lenovo
we
Center.
are the Lenovo Center. We are
Lenovo
Penn State. The Lenovo Center. Has that been officially announced?
I don't think so, but I know he's listening in right now.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Now, did we get some breaking news there from an insider at Lenovo? I don't know. He didn't deny it. That's all I'm saying. Didn't deny it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. By the way, and I said this yesterday, but I want to say it again since I did stumble through that one. I promise you, I am in the numbers game always going as best and as fast as I can for everybody playing. And if I do think it's ever an egregious, making it unfair, I would, make the decision to do whatever we can to make it fair for both contestants. I think that was fair enough. And by the way, the person that I messed up on ended up getting the tickets anyway, which makes me feel a little bit better. But I do always go all out. And sometimes when you're reading names quickly, you get tongue-tied. I promise you. It's not as simple as it may seem to some of you. Also, I want to remind everybody, I believe coming up tomorrow, we have Wolfpack Weekly with Dave Doran here on 99.9 The Fan. So, if you're looking for more insight into the NC State Wolfpack, tomorrow following the show will be the time for that. Yesterday, we had Panther Talk, and we always are mixing in as much play-by-play as we can for you, live sports here on 99.9 The Fan. So that is one bit of housekeeping. Another bit is please subscribe to our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan. We are always looking for more people to join that community. I call it an online community. Subscribe, like, share, pass it around, comment. You just might see one of us pop into the comments as well and react to what you're saying. That is a personal favor and also a station favor to ask of you. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, here's our very own Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. Maybe I should say the Law Tigers, because here's the thing with Law Tigers. You're getting someone local anytime you contact them. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, you got to call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS first before you call your insurance company. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms. They're members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. And here's the thing. You are going to get a local attorney. That's the best thing about it. And you're getting a local attorney who also is a part of the motorcycle riding community, just like you. They understand what your bike is worth. They understand what your gear is worth. They're part of that community and a community that has your back and is prepared to take care of you when you get into a motorcycle accident. Your case evaluation with them is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. So if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. If it is the Lenovo Center, if that's what it ends up being, formerly known as PNC Arena, we need to spice it up. When we're talking about it on the air, we need nicknames. We need something cool. We're going to try to spice it up a little bit. Coming up next right here on The Drive. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Yes or no, that's all we're allowed to say.
Jeez.
All of us. Did Michelle Smallman jinx the Packers? CC, yes or no?
No.
Thank you, CC.
Nuno.
Yes. No.
Jovante. Yes.
Jovante.
Pat. Clearly yes. Evan. Yes.
I want the apology to be as loud as the accusations when Jordan Love comes back and the Green Bay Packers are just fine.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm Kamala Harris. Here's a few things I believe. Middle-class families, like the one I grew up in, they want common sense solutions. You want lower prices and lower taxes. I believe you want to just not get by, but you want to get ahead. We must create an opportunity economy where everyone has a chance to get a car loan, buy a home, start a business. And I believe we can make that happen.
Kamala Harris's plan? Bring down costs by cracking down on corporate price gougers. Make homeownership more affordable for families. A middle-class tax cut for 100 million Americans. And make sure billionaires and big corporations pay their fair share so you can keep more of the money you've earned.
Instead of being focused on the politics of the past, we need to be thinking about the future and how we make it better for families like yours. I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Harris for President.
Hey, everybody. Paul Ihander from 99.9 The Fan for FanDuel. I'm ready for more NFL. And FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, is continuing its special offer to keep us watching more. Now, through September 22nd, all FanDuel customers can bet $5 and get a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Then, with your YouTube TV base plan, you'll be able to watch every regular Sunday afternoon out-of-market game. All you need is a Google account, a current form of payment, and you can cancel anytime. But I need you to head on over to FanDuel.com/Paul, Paul with a capital P, and download America's #1 sportsbook. 21 plus and present in North Carolina. Full price of NFL Sunday Ticket will be automatically charged seasonally after free trial. No refunds. Terms, restrictions, and embargoes apply. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
It's bow time. It's not just football season. It's tailgate season. And that includes every kind of football, whether it's got goalkeepers or goalposts. The kick is good! Because it doesn't matter where or how you tailgate. When you've got crispy chicken and fluffy buttermilk biscuits from Bojangles, your tailgate is better than great. It's legendary. Head to Bojangles and order your tailgate box with boldly seasoned chicken, fixins, biscuits, and legendary iced tea today. It's bow time.
Planning a tailgate? Then it's bow time. Bojangles has everything you need for the perfect tailgate, no matter how many fans you're trying to feed. There's the original tailgate, the super tailgate, and for a really big crowd, the jumbo tailgate special. And if you like your chicken off the bone, choose the Supreme's tailgate special that includes 12 perfectly seasoned tenderloin fillets. So grab the tickets, get that Bojangles tailgate special, and go. It's bow time.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
Adam Gold in studio with my friend Dallas Spruill, one of the great, talented people at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. before I ask you about products and the open house, which is coming up Friday and Saturday, how long have you been with Aluminum Company?
Since 1995, Adam.
1995. You predate me.
I'm proud to say that because I'm not the only one that's been there for over 20 years.
I know. Danny Newman actually helped do windows in my entire house, and this is 26 years ago.
1998.
It is a long time ago. All right, the open house is coming up. What can everybody see?
Come out to our open house, bring your pictures, bring your ideas, visit our seasoned group of people. We can talk about options. We can get you pricing. And you can enter a free drawing. We're giving away prizes. We got a $2,500 grand prize. We got several other prizes. We got all of our radio stations there. We'll have lunch, food trucks, ice cream. Come on out.
I'm sold. By the way, seasoned is the new old, I believe. Aluminum Company of North Carolina on Hamlin Road in Durham. You can find out about it at aluminumcompany.com.
Train heating and cooling systems are engineered to keep up with you. We run together. Visit traininfo.com to find your local independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train.
This is The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. So, based on some reporting done by Brian Murphy, WRAL, investigative reporter, sports side. PNC Arena is no longer PNC Arena. It's the artist formerly known as PNC Arena.
And Centennial authorities met on it earlier this week and all that.
Not wholly unexpected, but it's still to see people taking down the PNC Arena sign, a little jarring. There is some leakage. That's a weird word to say.
Easy there.
That the future name of the arena that the Canes play in, NC State men's basketball plays in, and so many concerts come through, will be the Lenovo Center. I don't know about you, but as somebody that works in a business that is going to have to say the Lenovo Center a billion times a year, when we give away tickets to concerts, when we obviously have the Canes game coming up, when we have NC State men's basketball coming up, just all of these things. The Lenovo Center, I don't know, it just doesn't roll off the tongue. Maybe it will. Maybe we'll come around to it. But I think we could spice it up a little bit. We can make it a little bit cooler.
I think we'll probably get to the point, like we just say PNC. Yeah, it's a game at PNC. We're just going to say, hey, that Lenovo.
But I think we could be.
We'll spice it up a little bit.
Well, it's like
spicy as this Thai food I ate today.
Just smelling it across the way, my eyes were watering. I think there's two paths, right? Because I overthink everything. One would be some kind of play on what Lenovo does, which is laptops, computers, CPUs. Could you call it something like the laptop?
Okay, all right.
Hey, I'm going to the laptop. Could you call it the workstation? I'm actually on Lenovo's website right now. The tablet, the monitor, something where it's connected to Lenovo. The other way,
dial-up, the big modem, the big modem. Let's go to the router.
The router's not bad.
I like the router's good.
The router's not bad.
Hey, leave your thoughts in the comments right now on YouTube Live.
The other way it could go is a play on Lenovo, right? And I actually have two that have been submitted to us already.
Okay.
Somebody from our sales department texted this to me.
All right.
The Lenny.
The Lenny. Okay.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Hey, you going to the concert at the Lenny? Where are they playing? Over at the Lenny. Oh, wow, they're filling arenas now. Hey, I got tickets to the Canes at the Lenny. You coming through? Tailgating outside.
I like this. The Lenny?
Or this one comes from Patrick on Twitter. Shout out to Patrick. The Vo.
Oh, the
Vo? Vo's not bad.
Oh, okay. Big night. Big game tonight at the Vo?
Big night at the Vo.
We got State Carolina at the Vo. Okay.
I don't hate the Vo.
I like this.
So there's kind of two angles, right? There's a play on what Lenovo does, or there's just the play on the name Lenovo, which, you hear of the bank for some, if it's at ironically, there's a PNC Bank, there's a Bank of America. You might just go I'm heading down to catch Elton John, Billy Joel at the bank. So you can shorten it that way as well. There's a bunch of different options.
A lot of people are in YouTube live chat saying, for example, John the Reindeer as well as Dirty Wookie said the Vo.
The Vo?
Dang, the Vo is pretty good. I like the Vo.
The Vo.
I'm all in.
Hey, we're here for the Canes opener. They're opening tonight. We're outside on the plaza, right outside the Vo, between the Vo and Carter Finley Stadium. How does it feel? How does it roll?
that.
How does it sound?
Between the Vo and the Carter?
The Vo and Carter Finley. What are we looking at? LV, the LV.
Okay.
Even though it's not really initials, it kind of could. The LC.
The LV.
I see. This is where we need somebody that's like a true cubicle, working on a desktop, like knows everything, working on a laptop, right? So much of what we do is, on the move and
the LV Center.
The LV Center. Is there
some
a
LV business going on here? Let's go.
Is there a really cool slang word for a computer?
I'm sure there is.
Yeah, I just don't know it. I'm not on the spreadsheets enough. A ThinkPad, the ThinkBook. I'm on their website. There's workstations. I don't know if that works.
At the PC?
At the PC?
Yeah.
At the PC? I don't know. We're going to have to keep working on it. You can keep commenting on the YouTube. You can keep brainstorming. Is there...
Someone said, why not just call it the RBC Center, which is what it used to be called.
Yeah.
Way back in the day.
To be completely honest, I'm probably for at least a couple months going to call it PNC Arena still until I work.
It's one of those things you have to condition out of your body.
It's how I write the date all January as the previous year. That's just what's going to happen. It's going to take me some time. What about the Leno home?
Nah,
not about it.
That's a little bit of a stretch there.
What
it's
about
a bit of a stretch?
What about the Lenovo? I don't know.
I think we're good with the Vo.
The Vo?
I think
all in?
the vibes that people are getting, even Patrick said, it's me on the one with the Vo, and he says such a W name.
Maybe we could throw up a Twitter poll or something. We could throw up a Twitter poll and see if we can't figure this out. But the Lenovo Center seems like, again, that we're taking some clues and kind of putting them together and connecting some dots here. But the Lenovo Center kind of will be the official name, it appears. You said we have Eric on the phone line? Eric is on the phone line and has an idea, I assume, for what we could call the Lenovo Center. So joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, what do you have for us, Eric?
I think we ought to call it the TLC.
That's not bad.
That's a good one.
How did we? That's right under.
That's a good one.
TLC. Yeah, I'm heading over to TLC.
Someone
Eric
said the LVC.
Lenovo. Yeah, TLC. Eric, thank you very much. That's immediately thrown into the options here. To me, the three best options are the Lenny, the Vo, and TLC.
Yeah.
And then, so I think we do a Twitter poll either today or tomorrow. What should we call the Lenovo Center? The Vo, the Lenny, TLC, or other. Please comment, and then people can fill in if they have a better option. Can't believe I didn't come up with TLC.
Yeah, no, we all missed that.
I was saying the LC, and I said the LC instead of TLC. Not my best work. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Tim Donnelly here for Capital Financial Advisory Group, and that includes Coach Pete. Just like your computer setup, just like your game plan going into a big football game, just like your house, your yard, custom to what you want, right? That's what life is kind of all about, getting everything situated just how you want it. Your retirement account should be no different. The amount of risk that you're taking on, the expected income that you're going to have in retirement, how long you want to work, where do you want your beneficiaries, where do you want your life insurance, all of it is custom to you. So get your very own total and customized retirement plan from Capital Financial Advisory Group and emphasize on custom. Not some boilerplate, some template that they just break out, put your name on, and slide it to you across the table. It is whiteboards full of checks and systems and making sure that it is exactly what you want. Give them a call and let them know you heard about it from me, and we'll even get you hooked up additionally. If you call and say you heard about it from Tim, the number to call is 800-691-3215. You call and say you heard about it from me. Not only will you get the retirement plan fully custom, you'll also get one of Coach Pete's best-selling books for free. You can also just text my name, TIM, to 600-700. That's Tim to 600-700. That's about going to do it for us here on The Drive. Dennis, I'm forgetting. What are we leading off Overdrive with? Silver linings for the Carolina Panthers. Yes, there were at least a few, and we squinted and looked all around and found them. So enjoy that to start Overdrive. We will also have a conversation on Grayson McCall and what he can do to get the offense for NC State back on track. And I think a lot of that has to do with getting Grayson back on track. So that's coming up. I have to give a shout-out coming in on a text. We actually got, call it the Novo.
The Novo? Okay. I actually literally just put a poll on X.
Okay.
At the Fan Rookie. I tagged you in it, Tim.
Perfect.
Put a poll out there. What's the best nickname for the Lenovo Center? The Vo, TLC, the Lenny, or other? You can leave us a comment. Let us know if it's the other.
Tyler on Twitter says the Lovo. There's a bunch of different options here. So go ahead and vote. I'll repost it right now. Get your vote in, and tomorrow we'll talk about the results and see what we're going to be calling the new arena.
I like the Vo is good. I'm leaning towards that.
I like the Lenny, to be honest.
Really?
It feels like a outdoor basketball court. Like, let's go play in the Lenny. Overdrive coming up next. See you tomorrow.
The Adam Gold Show.
Look, just because Florida State is already 0-2 and out of the picture doesn't mean the ACC is lost. Yeah, it's a bad sign that we're having to hang our hat on the perpetually disappointing Miami Hurricanes. But there are a number of teams, including Clemson, that could still be played.